What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Actually, no. It ain't just another episode. It's not just another episode tonight. It is officially our 50th episode of the Press Start Select podcast. And we had to make sure all three of the fellas was here for this. There was no way we could hit episode 50 and not have That's all crazy. Three of the boys here tonight.
Yes, sir.
So it's Antonius the Gamer, Super SSS Rank, Mikkel Smith, the Press Start Select podcast. Fellas, how are we feeling to celebrate 50 episodes of the pod?
I'm happy, man. Grateful.
I mean, honestly, I remember when it was just us two, and I know we were just trying to experiment with something, but I'm just glad that, even in the midst of adult life, we just saw it through. And, I met Jory after a while, and we all came together. I remember we all went to Chili's and just said, "Hey,
yeah, man,
let's do this."
Yeah, it's they always say like most podcasts don't make it past episode 20. So we made it past 50.
Past episode 10 these days.
You're right. No, you're right. No, so to make it to this point, for for like you said, Tim, for you and Jory to meet essentially virtually, and be able to build your own rapport. I'm like, these personalities will just make sense together, and for us to kind of make it work and figure out along the way, and 50 episodes in, and we just this is just the year of how things change, so things change and grow and expand and get better. So with that being said, we were talking more off mic. Obviously, there's a new format, a new way that we had the pod set up. We had to do some tinkering behind the scenes, but we will also have some new formats moving forward when it comes to breaking down our topics. We want to make sure that we have things in a way where it's easy to watch, easy to digest, easy to listen to. If you're, hey, I got 20 minutes, I only want to hear y'all talk about anime, boom, we got a section for that. If you want to hear we're talking about games, boom, we got a section for that. So as this episode plays out, we will be rolling out the new format of how we're tackling our episodes moving forward. Hopefully you guys enjoy the branding, the thumbnails, the ideas that we have when it comes to how we're executing all this. And with that being said, let's get started with first segment, the gaming big news, right? The things that came up since the last time we recorded that were worthy of discussion. Starting with one of the things that I spent a little bit of time in the internet landscape of Forza Horizon coming to PS5. And no, y'all at Microsoft are not getting Gran Turismo in return. In fact, we're just going to keep that and get your superior racing game as well.
Yep.
And with that, the official floodgates have been open of like, look, the red lines things that Phil Spencer said, this is it, yo. This is the beginning of Xbox's multi-platform journey, the end of exclusivity for sure. But what are you guys' thoughts on, Forza being the first of the big ones going over to the Sony side? And the Nintendo Switch side, I'm assuming at some point.
Honestly, bro, that was a surprise to me because that really was, bro. I was like, yo. Honestly, bro, I mean, I've said this I believe I said this last year. I do feel like the current market is transitioning back to how it was, where it was just Sony, Nintendo, and PC. I literally foresee Microsoft just fading away because it's like now you have nothing to leverage anymore. Like even the studios that they bought is like, yeah, all of those are coming multi-platform. So like, what was the purpose of this whole acquisition in the first place?
What was the purpose, right? So like, it backfired.
I mean, I'm happy Forza is available, especially with the whole cross-play format. And I do feel like maybe this opens up more opportunities for Sony to bring back some of their other races like Motorstorm. Because, add a different variety, man. I've always felt like Gran Turismo was that heavy technical simulator. Forza is that very foreign car, high racer, basically Fast and Furious.
No, it's a game for game's sake.
There's two versions. There's Forza, which will basically be on competition level with
Gran Turismo.
Thank you. And Forza is more loosely, more like arcadey, more fun, more different tracks. So you have two different types because the other four, they don't play the same. The other one's way more loose, way more friendly, way more inviting, and it's still challenging at the same time. So yeah. Yeah. So those are the two. That's the difference between those two. There is a difference.
Like I said, bro, like it's just they're just withering away. Like they have nothing to really like
to leverage
like
with.
you might as well just like. And it was so funny. It was like, oh, Xbox Showcase. Don't you mean the Xbox PlayStation Showcase?
Right. Don't you mean just a gaming direct at this point? Like,
Yeah,
Xbox Direct.
That's basically what it is, bro.
Yeah, it's done, man. It's done. Like, man, I like, because it's like, okay, what's the point?
Well,
what's the point of this library? Because it's just going to remain in this box.
I think I think the question you're asking does kind of tie into like the next topic, which they kind of blend together anyway. So I'll just bring it to the table right now. Of like you're saying, what's the point? And I've also wondered too. I'm like, what is it that Xbox? Because Phil Spencer is adamant, right? They've all said it. Like we're putting out another Xbox console. It's definitely happening. But it's kind of like, okay, cool. What's the incentive? What makes somebody say, I want to buy this Xbox? Like, yeah, I know Phil's saying, it's going to be obviously the top of the line of how to play this game, right? It'll have the specs to support it. But if it's all the games going to go multi-platform anyway, and we've seen with Nintendo sales that it's games like the game and the gameplay that automatically, that matter more so than the graphical fidelity at this point. What about the console itself? Do you guys feel is going to keep people buying an Xbox, if at all?
Nothing.
No, I mean, it's not going to sell. It's done. It's
like,
dead in the water.
When you really look at it, bro, I've said this before. Like, I feel like outside of Nintendo, I feel like when it's come to like Sony and Microsoft, I feel like they've hit a plateau. I mean, a gentle plateau.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I would agree with that entirely.
Like they've hit a certain pinnacle point in terms of hardware, where I feel like, bro, we are good for a while. We don't really have to like
keep pushing it,
overly invest into something more at this point. Like, just give us the games that you're telling me that could really tap into the powerhouse of this system. Because to be honest, bro, we still haven't reached that area yet.
Yeah.
To me,
no,
that's just personally how I feel, and it's not. And also, because it also comes with other specs. You definitely need the proper TVs and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. So my thing about it is, what is the sole purpose of all this new hardware? And you got to really understand the economics of the world with all the stuff that's going on in other countries in terms of mineral resources. Do you even want to put out another system where are you getting these resources from? And, it even goes back to, when we were talking about Stalker 2, there's a lot of economical stuff going on in the world, bro.
It's shifting at a very rapid rate.
That's why I kind of feel like Xbox is fizzling out, because when you really look at Sony and Nintendo, they were basically birthed from each other. And they have a strong presence in the East and the West that even when I first started the Xbox, like, okay, all right, we have a Western-based console. How is that really going to last over time? Like, it's done good. The 360 era was great, but you saw that momentum just started to fizzle down just a little bit. And then now I really feel like the economics of the situation, bro, is really showing.
Yeah, bro.
We're reverting. We are reverting back, bro. That's what we are doing.
Man. I'm kind of like I'm at a loss. I'm like, I don't know what the thing would be. And it does kind of seem like you said, Tim, like it's like we're almost like we're slipping back of like, okay, you guys aren't maintaining ground. You're definitely not gaining ground. So what's happening? Like what are we doing right now? That's right. What are your thoughts on Big Phil and the future?
So for me, like, we had this discussion on the chat and it made a lot of sense. Like, I gave you $1 billion, Phil. I want him back. I want my $1 billion back next week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have until next week. This whole purchase was ideal off of us remaining independent. Nope. I want my money back. Figure out a way.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out a way. And so now the way is to go multi-platform. And then hopefully release boxes in order and pray for a miracle that they start selling out of nowhere, which is it's not going to happen. You had the God of Destruction, Lord Beerus Don Matrick, do his damage, and we're still paying for it.
Yeah.
He killed Xbox. He killed Xbox.
Putting
And
games on the
so
back burner for a game console was like, I don't know how in a room of like board meetings, everyone's like, yeah, that seems like a plan. Like,
and
how did
now
this
he
get out of
realized how much power he did not have. They fired that man next week. So they were in a great position. I don't know. I haven't heard any commentary, but like Microsoft lost. So this is, you know, Phil can pillow it however he likes to, but you don't make $1 billion investment only to go multi-platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like
That was never.
I feel like, bro, there's gonna be a big announcement of liquidating the studios. Like, who wants them?
Maybe not yet,
Yeah,
but at some point,
and then
I could see that happening.
So now it's like, yeah, this company failed, man, and I can tell you exactly where it went wrong. Lord Don Matrick,
But
the true god of the. No, because that's when the subscribers went to the PlayStation.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's what I was saying when we talked about it. We talked about it in the chat. We talked about it in prior pods of like, it's like you're letting your one, granted, a big L, like a undeniable L. You're letting this L define who you are as a business at this point. It's like,
no, but
you have Game Pass, which is a win, right? Your cross save infrastructure is getting a lot better, a win. The backwards compatibility, a win, right? I'm like,
okay.
you have these things that, like, I can see the vision, let me say, of like,
no,
what
but how do you explain that to a Satya Nadella who doesn't understand or care? He's not going to wait until he's not going to give you time. If they were willing to wait to recoup the money back, Xbox would be in great standing. That's usually what happens with these companies. When Nintendo was going down, the CEO himself decided to cut half of his wages in order for his staff to get paid.
Because we know, unlike other companies, Nintendo kind of cares about their people.
Okay, so when it comes to matters of longevity, it all depends on the temperament of the individual. It's outside of his control.
I agree.
So he had the plan. We heard rumors of their Phil Spencer bumping heads with Satya Nadella. Hey, listen, I gave you $1 billion. You could leave gracefully.
We'll write a beautiful departure letter. And Microsoft's finest will be on it in terms of ghostwriting.
And then you feel me? And then I could see Phil,
weighing his options.
weighing his options and quick flashes of the MAGA hat showing up. You feel me? Red Ribbon Aria.
He keeps typing "to whom it may concern" and pressing backspace. No.
No.
I hope this email finds you well. No.
Yeah, Phil was on his way to join the Red Ribbon Army, dog. You feel me? He's gonna join the Red Ribbon Army. Now I'd be like, yo, man. So that's really what. I'll be honest with you. That's really what we're watching right now, because none of the movement forward makes sense, right?
Let me ask you.
If that was the case, let us just if this purchase that we're making is only to go multiplat, let's save our money and just go multiplat anyway.
True.
They would have, you know what I'm saying? They would have just, but now it's only because they have to pay the money back right away.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so now he has no choice but to open the platform for everybody. The verbiage changes every other week.
Like we said last part, he's an unreliable narrator by default. Like, it's not that he's lying. It's just that the truth changes.
The truth changes, and so now he's stuck. What can he do now?
Yeah,
what can he do? He has to deal with.
My what if question for you guys is two things, right? Let's say in this what if scenario that the next Xbox console has a user home base that makes it the most innovative ever for gamers to stream off of it, cut clips off of it, make content off of it, go live off of it, right? And it has its own version of a Wi-Fi hotspot. By just connecting to the electricity, your Xbox can serve as a mini router for you to play your games. Does that sell an Xbox?
I mean,
that probably would. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, content creation, yes, it checks some boxes, but I just also feel like, okay, you still need games coming in.
Which they'll still have, right? I mean, Game Pass will still be around. The Xbox handheld will drop probably 2030, realistically speaking.
I feel like they're just going to give up exclusivity, but then it also kind of like it's a weird limbo. I would say it's a weird, like, all right, if you're really giving up your exclusivity, so it kind of is like, all right, this is just another system. But then it goes back to what you just said. Now your specs are going to have to be so like different for me to want to invest into this.
Yeah.
Like, what makes this a next level gaming console?
Okay.
And it goes back to like, what we said earlier, like a lot of stuff now is heavily social media based, like your Twitch streams, your gameplay reels and all that other stuff. So if this is truly where they are going, I mean, it's good, healthy competition, but then it's just kind of weird to see how long would that last though.
Okay. I'll say this is a great selling point. This is a good selling point. If they can eliminate the need for an external capture card device, that'll be.
I don't know if they could do that. Maybe better support for external capture card devices.
No, but if they could, thing is, like, if I could just capture my footage directly on my console or directly on an external hard drive.
Yes, an external hard drive would probably be the best.
That's what I mean. That makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
If I could,
the terabytes what's the matter?
Wait, what's the matter? What's going on? Oh, you don't want to invest in Elgato? Oh, you don't have to. You can now capture your gameplay directly on the Xbox on an external hard drive. 30 hours of your gameplay, boom, saved it, and then organization on your files.
Go quick, bro.
Huh?
30 hours, that'll go quick, bro.
Oh yeah, of course. But at least of course, but at least you would have it.
Yeah. But at least you understand. At least you have the option to.
Yeah.
So that right there would be the investment part. On the other hand, now that'll beat me buying whatchamacallit PC. Now, bro, I don't really have to if I don't want to. And my libraries, I could just go. Now that would be perfect.
I don't have to have 40 wires running from my console to
40 wires running through my console. See, that solves a problem, right? Now that's actually a very good pitch. That'll probably be a selling point, right? Now you can get the entertainment media format that Don Matrick wanted to have.
In a way that makes sense for gamers. Yeah.
That'll be a plus. Oh man, what's that? You want to upload directly to YouTube and Twitch? You can stream simultaneously. Boom. That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect. And guess what? If you don't want to purchase this next installment, we have an upgradable drive that will sell separately coming later.
That will help with our cloud, our cloud gaming. Yeah.
You feel me? Okay, you want more graphics? You don't really want to quite upgrade yet? You don't want to do a PC? Buy this little component, attach it to the back, boom. There goes your N64 graphics card right there. You know what I'm saying?
These are not bad. That's why I like, let me ask, like, because these are things that, like, if I had it for a PS5, I'd be like, oh, Sony.
And what's that? Okay. Okay, listen, we're not selling disc anymore. We do sell solid state disc as games. Boom. We're the only company to do it. We're compatible with. Working with ScanDisc. We're working with Black. We're working with this to get your version of the game on a solid state disc. Boom. That way you have physical media. You don't technically. We won't push it, but you don't need to go digital if you don't want to. Save space. I don't mind having a whole bunch of memory cards that fit in a wallet. So I don't. I don't. Especially if it's physical media, it's mine. Right? That makes more sense than having a CD, which can't, for the reasons why we have the updates, they can't store all that information on there.
Right. Which is
that's the only reason.
Which is crazy. When you think about the capacity of a Blu-ray and the fact that they're like, we still didn't have it, it's like,
no, they don't. What? They don't want to.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to.
I'm like, fam.
They already have.
When they broke down how the Blu-ray works, I'm like, there's gigs on gigs on gigs of space on those things.
They can They can subscribe. They can transcribe information on glass now. The thing is, we don't have a laser that reads fast enough.
I gotcha.
That's
so like
the
frame
problem.
wise, it gets a little okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
You know, it can't. And we would need a hydrogen collider inside our systems. Do you want to play your Xbox with a hazmat suit on?
You want to say a little nuclear reactor comes with every purchase. You just
literally the first Xbox when
put it outside like a septic tank.
Doom. I don't want to play my game submerged underwater with a CO2 tank in a hyperbolic. Yo, I don't want to do that, but I mean that's technically what's happening.
Reach for your Xbox fridge.
But I personally don't think physical media will go away because the government wouldn't even get rid of physical media.
Well, it might because of the government.
No, it is. It is. No. You won't have it. You won't have it.
It's a half and half because I do realize they are trying to get rid of like cyber waste out there.
Yes.
Just cyber waste.
So I do feel like they'll diversify their methods. Like
it only makes sense.
They'll give you the option, but I do feel like they are going to push digital a bit more,
which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine because honestly, for me, when I made the transfer, it worked out perfectly for me, and I really see it's starting to really work out for others because it's a bit more convenient when I should say, because especially like when you have the upload times, like when it reaches midnight, like even like bro, like digital releases, like that changed the whole culture, bro. Remember, I used to work at GameStop. I used to see them people pile outside for their midnight copy, bro. Like that has changed an entire culture.
Yeah, I'd say in some good ways, in some ways bad. I think not to get too deep, but I think like we definitely lost a lot of the social aspect of things. With like there is something to be said about showing up with mutual-minded people to get a game.
We lost some physical, but then we've also like did like a direct exchange for a more digital presence. Like for example, let's just say if we're in a party like talking on our mics. Everybody's waiting for this particular thing to download at the time. So you're talking with your boys and stuff like that, video chatting. Oh, we up now? Okay, let's go to the lobby, straight to the lobby.
True. That is true. The midnight release hits different on the digital era for sure. Okay,
and, I mean, like Joy, for example, he always ordering, Uber Eats, Instacart. Oh yeah, my food just arrived.
I'm ready.
And we're all just here, just waiting. For a particular release to come, like, for all the gigabytes to load up. So it just, a lot of things have changed, man. And I do feel like, whatever comes next with this system, it has to make sense or else you're just dead in the water.
Yeah. To me, like I said, because we can move on to this, but I think in closing, like, I think if there's a way they can make it more gamer friendly of like, maybe it still won't compare to a PC setup, but here is a simple, you don't got to think about it too much way to set up your gaming hub for streaming and doing this and cutting clips and stuff like that. I think that would give them a leg. It doesn't bring Xbox back into the fold in terms of console selling, but I think it gives them a thing for an edge. Yes, for sure. Right. Because again, I tell Jory all the time, I'm like, boy, if there's one thing I envy y'all for is that Game Pass, because these games are too expensive. If I could just pay a fee per month and download whatever I want.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be let's see how they do it, man. Let's see how they do it because unless they do this generation of games goes exclusive and then Microsoft slowly starts to bring back exclusivity for certain things.
I think we'll get exclusive perks, but I don't think we're getting exclusive games from them anytime soon.
Yeah.
They'll give you certain things that like you'll benefit, right? Like how we get all these Marvel games where like if you're a PlayStation user, you get a certain type of Spider-Man skin or whatever.
Yeah.
It's Sony. I think Xbox will still have stuff like that where like here's this thing that only
Xbox
people have access to, but also be multiplat.
Yeah, you bought Sega to become Sega. You lost.
Yeah.
You lost. You didn't achieve your goal. I mean, there was a change of plans and but it's really that, man. I mean, at the end of the day, only a man intending to build a video game company can do things for a video game company. If you join a tech software company, the visions they're not built off of the same things, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
At
Microsoft doesn't care.
Yeah, and we're seeing
it's clashing.
Yeah,
and it did clash. Yeah. It did clash. like look, Sarah Bond was in charge, and then now she,
we haven't seen
she,
seen her in months. Since that
so
one interview, we ain't seen her in. We seen emails. That's it.
So it's definitely something going on, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we hear Matt Booty's not leaving. He's not leaving. He a company man.
He'll play his role.
He's a company man. That's funny. Probably crossing his fingers. Phil, you said you don't want that chair. You still want that mug?
Right.
Phil, you still want? You know what I'm saying? Phil probably is like, you know what, man? Maybe it's time to, if.
I don't think so. At least not for the next couple of years. I think we'll see. It depends on how things play out. I think like we were saying last week, he's kind of more of like the spokesperson in the most respectful way possible. Like he's a spokesperson for some of these bigger decisions.
Hey man,
and people are starting to catch on. Like, all right, this is not on you the way we thought it was.
Yeah, secretly, I'm hoping he turns into Professor Hamilton, and he's building his Galatea with Supergirl's DNA. No, I'm hoping so. You feel me? He joined Cadmus. You feel me? Because Justice League getting too, you know what I'm saying? They got that giant space gun in the sky, bro. So.
Well, I guess to move the conversation to their, other big name, right? That's this is more of a big gaming news that's supposed to be a rumor, but usually these rumors tend to have some validity to it. Sony is supposed to have some type of showcase next week, as of this recording. There's nothing been confirmed as of yet. Right. Nothing been confirmed as of yet, but Sony doesn't do the best job of hyping up their showcases either. So that's why I think there's a lot more it seems a little more legit of like, well, they never roll these out. So it could be a thing. But assuming that it is there anything that you guys are expecting to see other than movie trailers? That was my first thought of like, you guys have announced Last of Us Season 2 next month. We're getting a Beyond Two Souls TV adaptation for some odd reason. Like, I think, other than the Sony live action properties, taking up most of the showcase, what are you guys expecting, if anything?
Like Jory said, I do believe it'll probably be something Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei. What's the other property that they have?
Nothing for Wolverine?
Honestly, bro, that's too ambitious, bro. I don't know. Insomniac is in a very weird place, bro.
Yeah, I feel like Wolverine went back to the drawing board, low key.
Yeah, I think so, man. Because I feel like whatever happened with that leak and all this live service stuff falling apart, I think a lot of stuff have just been pushed back.
The Insomniac head guy retired. People have stepped away. Like it's they're not saying it, but I'm like, okay.
Right. I mean, look what happened with Spider-Man 2. We was asking about, the follow-up DLC for so long. They kept saying, oh, we have nothing to report now. Oh, here comes this PC trailer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys, that's it. It's like, bro, you could have just said that.
Right. Let me mourn.
That's where we are. That's honestly where we are.
So because 3 games for a showcase, bro? That's it?
I mean, honestly, bro, we will never know. I mean, until Sony does have some good surprises, though. I go back to my statement that, that we said before the end of the year. I just want to see what all these other studios have been producing or what's within them.
But Tim, because, they've been producing
Sony is really taking their exclusivity very seriously. Mm-hmm. And yes, we heard some rumors here and there about certain things being canceled. But then, even minus those, you still got like 5 to 6 other studios that I would like to see what are they producing. Because honestly, bro, yeah, like, this PS5, like how Joey said, it's just the remastered system. Like, I want something new.
Yeah. I'll take a sequel at this point. So give me something, please. Something where it's not a upscale version of a existing story element. For me, outside of Ghost of Yotei gameplay, maybe I don't know what else they could throw out that would really get people hype, right? Like even Naughty Dog's thing, like this game has been in development for 5 years already. You had no gameplay to show at the Game Awards. Are we going to get gameplay at the showcase? Like what what exactly? It's like a struggle of like, who knows? Who knows? Of like what to expect and what 2023 again. We all kind of agree was a great year for gaming releases, just getting banger after banger after banger after banger. But given what's been happening with the gaming industry, it's kind of just like Xbox had a great showcase overall in terms of like things coming out. But I'm like, what PlayStation announced at this point that has a release date of this year, other than Ghost of Yotei? Is it a 10-minute Ghost of Yotei trailer? Like what is there to
I mean, that would work, but it wouldn't work at the same time.
It would work. Maybe some exclusive. What's it called? What's that game that we're all kind of excited about? The one S-Rank that you said was being made by one person that made the cell phone game.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Phantom Blade Zero. Maybe some exclusive Phantom Blade Zero gameplay. Maybe.
I mean, they're gonna have something third party for sure. Maybe something Helldivers, like, because at least this looks like the one live service property that is constantly going. So maybe new skins, a new expansion, or something like that, or maybe just like maybe like a teaser of the third part of Final Fantasy, because there's been news about that hyping up recently as well.
It's soon though.
You never know, bro. You just never know.
That kind of feels like a summer game.
Final Fantasy what?
Part 3.
Final Fantasy Part 3. That would be nice to see. A teaser. I think a teaser is due.
I feel like a Summer Games Direct type announcement though, not February. Like,
I mean, what we see now, bro, is going to basically showcase what the summer and what the spring and summer is going to hold. So, I mean, they need to have something. So yeah. I do feel like this is going to be, a good border range to see, like, all right, what am I really expecting?
We got a lot of games from Asia that's coming out, so that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, but
that's also another thing. Remember, we also got to keep that mindset about log on to your system, look and see what is coming into the store, because new stuff is coming in. Now, it may not be these blockbusters, but yes, these AA games, some of them are actually pretty good.
Yeah, so it's like, I'd like to see more of that marketing push a little bit though, right? Like, would it kill Sony to do like a little indie section real quick to show
honestly,
some?
Bro, that's the thing, bro. They've switched, because I remember they were really focused on that their PS3 and PS4, yeah. But then after a while, they just started to go to like, no, if it's not these updated graphics, there's extra 25%. It's like, what is the purpose?
One way or another, the division of Don Matrick infiltrated Sony. Because right now that they said, they released a statement. We plan to make every video game connected to a cinema universe.
We could tell.
So now I'm playing a movie game versus a game. I just want to play a game. Now y'all gonna make the games movies.
I think we'll still have both, right? I think like it would, given how much they've kind of stubborn their way into the predicament they're in right now. I think the success of Astrobot was like that cold water to the face of like, not everything needs to be grounded in reality. Like, we still need the fantastical games.
To be honest with you, the way I feel like these guys received it is, well, that actually worked. Well, let's use this to make another one for us, but not. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not. To me, it didn't touch.
Astro Fortnite.
It didn't strike. It didn't touch. Sony's not even parading it. They released a couple of statements. Oh, okay, yeah, that's great. Hey, you don't see. Hey, let's see what we can do with Knack. Hey, Jack and Dexter. Maybe not Jack and Dexter, maybe a successor. Let's try something new, but somewhat of the same world.
Right.
Let's bring back something familiar and do it new. Maybe not Ratchet and Clank, but a successor to Ratchet and Clank. This would be the perfect time to have a soft reboot, a new launch, new vision, new direction of games that are AA, not quite as expensive, stylistic, but repeated fun. Like Spyro the Dragon. Nobody gets tired of playing those first stages. They just don't, right? Because they're done so well, just like people playing Mario and XYZ, and like people. I still play Super Mario to this day, right? So it's that Sonic. Look at the repetitiveness, but it's a fun formula that works because they centered it around the fun factor. I don't see that push. I see Concord. You spent how much money on Concord? You're fired. That's the energy I'm seeing. And so
yeah. No, I'm with you. I think it's
yeah.
like it's one of those things where it's like there'll be the basis of a good idea, and it immediately jumps to how can we make even more money. Of like, I think you're absolutely right. Of like, we're kind of skipping over the is this game fun part. Like,
Yeah,
no, does it make money? Does it make us money?
Because when it comes to Sony, I feel like, especially with this console generation, they've been plagued by three things. All right, first was the pandemic, so like it was hard to really get a system, so like to get things brewing up. But then the next plight was it was just a bunch of remasters, bro. Like they were just doing too much of here's an upscale, resell it, and then the biggest blow was their whole live service plan. Their Marvel movie plan just blew up in their face.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I kind of feel like under the table, they're trying to regulate things and say, hey, we need to just scrap all of this and come up with something new before June. And then now they're also enter, like how you just said, the cinematic universe where, oh, you want an animation? Okay, here it is. If you want a movie, here's that too. So it's kind of like they're being pulled in so many directions where like I am actually kind of scared for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, whatever this state of play is, it's going to have to be something of good faith. It really is.
Okay. Kind of like what they do when we see it.
Honestly, bro, solely relying on Ghost of Yote is not going to do it. I'm looking forward to the game, but it's like you cannot rely on just this one property.
No way. In no world does one single player game get it done for the year. Not named Grand Theft Auto. Like that doesn't. It's none of them could do it. Not Nintendo, not Xbox, none of them. We're dropping one big game and that's it.
Nintendo just don't care.
They don't care, but they winning, bro. I didn't throw it as a topic. We don't really have to cover it, but they started releasing some of their numbers of what some of their games have sold just in strictly physical sales, and it will blow. Mario Kart 8 alone, I'm like, no wonder there was no rush to do 9. I think that, and obviously we're recording this, we're not like fact checking. I think they said Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, just the Deluxe edition, not the standard. The Deluxe edition did like 8.6 million copies sold. Physical.
Wow.
I wouldn't care either. Yeah, it's 720p and runs at a questionable 30 frames per second. What you gonna do?
Play it.
You gonna set up that 4K TV and play it anyway?
But yeah, I mean, we'll see, bro. We'll definitely see. Because they're probably just gonna like launch the date on a blog. Oh yeah, this weekend. Look forward to this upcoming Tuesday.
Bro, they're announcing the promotions are the jankiest things ever. Like, you guys are a multi-billion-dollar company. Why are we getting like a Twitter post on your next big showcase for your gaming division?
No, but honestly, bro, that's how it's been working. Remember when we was hyped up for Mortal Kombat, bro? You just saw that YouTube notification come up.
I guess that's true. Like sometimes that can bring.
That's the power of the email and the subscribe down, bro. They don't really have to. You could just do that little shadow drop. Okay, make it go live right now. People would literally hide in the work closet just to watch something.
For real. About to be constipated for the next 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long this showcase is. And I guess one last quick Sony topic before we move on. Granted, it's completely a rumor. It's not really based in anything. We don't even know if it correlates with one another. But apparently, Sony is looking to hire some Middle Eastern motion capture actors. So that got people to thinking that there might be a God of War Egypt on the horizon.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think because they already did Egypt. It was a prequel. It was a prequel comic between the Greek and the Norse, but then it was done very well. I was like, he doesn't need to do an entire adventure. Maybe it's going to be a spiritual successor of something of that nature. In that particular pantheon, I would take that over another Kratos story. But no, bro, like the way the comic handled that, I was like, yeah, he doesn't need to go.
But as we know, Tim, from both Mortal Kombat and Injustice, comics count except when they don't. Right? Except they're canon until they decide that they're not canon. Yeah. So it's hard to say that the comic, as well done as it is, that they'll actually even pull from it. I guess my question
they don't even respect it from movies.
They don't at all. My question for you guys is that would you want it to go to Egypt or someplace like Asia? Right? Would you want to see?
No, but my thing about that, it has to make sense because you could tell from like the way his character arc ended after he went to therapy. It's just, he's going to settle for, he's going to look forward to his new life in, where he is. You could tell there's a bit of a post-trauma romance with.
It's done, bro. Just let him alone,
and let it be done. Because
like
even when they announced that this is not going to be a trilogy, I was okay with that. Because to be honest, bro, you don't have to overstay your welcome. Like, it does not. Like, even like how we see with the movies, these double, triple trilogies, sometimes, bro, they just don't work. So, okay, we went to this new area.
Sometimes.
The first one was solid. The second one was a nice one, better combat mechanics. And I feel like the story ended in a very genuine, open-ended way.
A little bit rushed, but I agree.
Yeah. The Valhalla DLC, especially when you listen to the dialogue. The dialogue was the important part of
the Ragnarok part. Definitely happened off screen, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the dialogue parts helped me. I was like, okay, this is a good set off for Kratos, especially that final scene where he took a look at himself in the chair. It's like, okay, bro, wash your hands with this. You don't have to do anymore. No more.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to ask it real quick. I'm like, it's interesting. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm good.
I don't want to see. I just don't want to see this Kratos. To be honest with you, it's just not going to be interesting to me.
I don't want multiverse Kratos.
Yes, he doesn't want multiverse Kratos.
Can we please just end the multiverse of everything?
Tell a new story. If you're gonna do God of War, like do it like Final Fantasy. Then, every a new story.
Every region has their own.
Every region has their own Kratos. You feel me? Do it like that. You know what I'm saying? You want my money? If we're gonna do Egypt, make sure the brother is February color. You feel me?
That's true. Because remember, look at the last Prince of Persia, he wasn't the prince, but look at the design and the mythology and the type of creatures. You don't have to call it. I would say this: you don't have to call it God of War.
Yes,
but you could tell.
I mean, you kind of do. You kind of.
So you have to call it God of War. No, call it God of War.
Yeah,
or you could do something like how they did with Ghost.
Yes, a sub name. Yes, for sure.
You could do something that you could tell it's an intertwined type of property, but it doesn't have to solely connect.
Right. Him or her, whoever the main protagonist is, him and Kratos' past will never have to cross necessarily for this game to work.
They don't.
Yeah, because my thing is like, because for me, the only I was okay with Kratos being a force. Sometimes I like my characters just being a force. I don't really want my characters to be they can be deep. Huh? Human? No, I mean, what does it mean to be human? Some people are a force, right? Like a Mike Tyson.
I did enjoy Norse versions of Kratos. Like I said, it was the dialogue of when he was on the journey with Atreus. You could tell, he knows how to harness that brutality, but he also knows, all right, I was tripping back in the day. I was
wilding back in the day.
I mean, especially when he lost.
The ghost of Athena again. That is, like I said, it was the dialogue, bro.
Yeah, but we forget he had a family first already.
But then, bro, like I said, it was his second chance. It was his second chance, and that's what the story was about. It's his second chance at something, and he wants to do things better. And then I also didn't like the fact that another wife is dead. But okay, whatever.
Yeah,
but it was the simple fact.
It makes the George's critiques of Sony PlayStation games.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good, man. I really enjoyed it. And one thing I also like about when Pantheons cross is that you can tell they know about each other. Because when Baldur first met him, it was like, oh, you're a long way from home. Like you could tell, like, because you've also seen that in other material as well. They don't like people in their realms from other places.
And they said it as much as like these gods all exist within their own respective realms. It's just one big connected world in terms of, you know, the Egyptian gods and the Asian gods. Like they all exist within the God of War universe, technically.
Yeah. And then, you know, even when he met Odin, like, you know, when they pulled up to the house, it was like, all right, we understand last game, things got a little crazy. But we're willing to just
let bygones be bygones. Heard what you did to your dad. Respect, but not looking for
under these terms, we can move forward. But then, of course,
it could just be a friendly fade.
It was good to me, and I feel like those 2 installments was a good send off, and let it be done.
Yeah.
I would like to see Sony Santa Monica do something else other than God of War and MLB.
I think they want to do something else.
Let them do something else, man.
Yeah, I think they want to because they have 2 different studios. So I think there's a Santa Monica division that's working on a completely new IP. That's the rumor, at least, that they're working on something completely unrelated to God of War.
To be honest with you, like I like my God of War 3 Kratos, my God of War 2 and God of War 1 Kratos. The mayhem. That's my favorite.
It has its place. I think I've always said I think there's room for both. I think you got 2 PSP games.
MLB is by San Diego Studio, not Santa Monica.
It's not Santa Monica.
But Santa Monica does have 2 studios, though. They do. They have. I can't remember the names right now. But yeah, I think you know it'd be nice to see them do something different at this point. Like I think. Like y'all said, like if God of War kind of goes on like a mini hiatus for the next couple of years, I'm cool with it. Like I don't need another Kratos before this console generation is over.
It's time for some. You know, we've said this. It's time for them to start experimenting with something new, man. Because to be honest, bro, I felt like this last Ratchet done. Just like I'm good. Like I feel like we've done enough with Ratchet. I do feel like you know, people have been saying give us a proper Jack 4. And one more Sly and just end it and move on to something else. And then that's where I kind of felt like, you know, if Astrobot is technically a spiritual successor to Little Big Planet, you guys did the job done. You got it done in a very proper way.
But it's up to them to see that, right? Because that's the thing that we talk about a lot on this podcast of like, these are these simple things that you just got to connect the dots. And they're just like, nope, I don't think I will. I'm just going to veer left because this seems like the path to more money.
And, you know, we've seen this, especially, you know, when it comes to like, you know, there's a lot of interference from the parent companies, bro. Because honestly, bro, I feel like WB sabotaged NetherRealm.
Yes.
Boy.
Like, yes. They sabotaged NetherRealm. They sabotaged Rocksteady. Because I was like, there's no way this is the same Rocksteady.
Yes.
Because it's not. That's how much they sabotaged it.
It's not the same Rocksteady. It's not the same Santa Monica. It's not going to be the same Spider-Man studio. These guys are leaving. I'm going to do my own thing.
Or retire. From the gaming industry.
Yeah, like, and do
that's
something else.
I couldn't get past. Yeah,
like I'm going to make toilets like the creators of Mass Effect. Like, yeah, I'm out of here, man. Let's sell the IP.
Jeez. But speaking of companies trying to save their IP, right, and coming together like Captain Planet to make one last push, EA announced this week that they are bringing together 4 studios and you, the player, as heart, right? Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, and Heart to try to bring back Battlefields between a mixture of play testing and development. And we're all fans of Battlefield here, I believe, right? Like I know Tim is. I know I am. I think I'm actually disappointed how much they kind of fell off the cliff.
I stopped off the Battlefield 1, but I kept up with the series.
No, right. I'm saying like we liked the formula in terms of a Call of Duty clasher, essentially. So I guess my question is like, do you guys feel like
Company was the pinnacle?
Bro, bro. Bad
The
Company
pinnacle.
2.
That was the pinnacle of game. Like life was
I
good.
put so much hours into that. I was so
good.
upset with myself that I only had 2 trophies left for the platinum, and I just could not get them.
Life was good. You want to know why? Because you had people, developers that were passionate about and knew about that area
No, that area of DICE,
of gaming,
that
and
was
so they were involved. They weren't necessarily worried about the CEO getting involved because the CEO was exactly just like them.
Yes.
So, it wasn't someone from sales and merchandising from Macy's. Well, these numbers look good. Let me go with this. Like, you can't see why this is. No, it's selling. That means it works. Like, no, it's selling because we're in a pandemic and people have no choice but to, no. This is the new wave. Like, you have bad people who don't really understand the product of what they're selling. And so, there you go. That, like, we're not going to get, because we don't even have those caliber of people anymore. Like, those guys are not those guys that made.
I would say, like, I feel like we do. I just, and that's why I wanted to ask. Like, I do feel like that's probably why they brought all 4 studios together. Like, okay, between these 4 companies, I'm sure we have enough creatives here to get this done. My question to y'all is, will it get done?
I feel like that. All right, they should not get caught up in the Hollywood economics of becoming a blockbuster. I feel like that's what hurt. Because, like, all right, first of all, I feel like what really hurt DICE reputation was the Star Wars era, like of how they handled Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
That's not on the gamers. That was them.
Yeah, no. I mean them. Like, I'm talking about
okay.
And after a while, like, Battlefield 1 did really good. Till this day, people are heavy in the streams. It's just like Battlefield 5, and then this ultra modern warfare that they tried to do. And I think that's also the drawback of military shooters, bro. Like, when you're trying to stick to a particular time period, things get a bit wonky.
Right.
It's like after a while, it's like, how many times are we going to do this? And that's where, like, I kind of felt like, fantasy shooters actually have a better place to an extent. Like, to be honest, like, bro, as I said, Resistance, Killzone, these are something that you don't have to really keep thinking about what's the next installment. Like, if this one is solid enough, this one can ride you out the entire console cycle.
Especially nowadays, yeah.
But when it comes to, like, real-time based military shooters, man, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So, I mean, I'm trying to see, like, hopefully they bring out something. It's definitely going to push the power of the system.
Oh,
I'll give them that.
Collapsible stuff out the gate. I'm like, okay, Battlefield 3 energy. Okay, I'm not mad at it.
They need to hire the writers from Zero Dark 30, 13 hours. The all seasons of 24 for that thing to pop. They got to. You got to go. No, because the thing is, right, as much as people you got those, I don't care about the story, I just want to play multiplayer. You got the jarheads. It's okay, you can have them. But then, let's get some people that want to do a story. But then the thing is, people can't enjoy because people spoil it. XYZ.
I mean, it's a military shooter. What
military shooter?
Yeah.
How deep are you really gonna get? Like,
no, but I guess I forgot what I was trying to say. The point I
would also say this. I do feel like, well, for me, and this is personally for me, like the war in Palestine really kind of like hurt my views about military shooters. Like, I kind of don't see myself playing as these people anymore when you really look at it. And I know that's personally on me, and I take this, and that I own my own feelings, but it's just, I kind of just lost taste for that. So that's why, like I said, fantasy world shooters I can connect with, because like I said, bro, one of my best experiences was Resistance 3. And so, like, in terms of this right here, like, kind of piggybacks on what Joy said, like, what is the story going to be? It's going to be another terrorist-esque fiasco, post-apocalyptic, Fast and the Furious, or if you don't stop this satellite in 5 minutes, the world is going to get microwaved.
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I know a lot of people hate Black Ops 3, but that story was fire.
But that's all like the thing that I'm kind of questioning of like, are we hoping that the story for Battlefield gets it done? Like,
no, I'm hoping the gameplay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's I'm like
it's everything.
It's almost like secondary. You know, like
no, it's no, but it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. Because the thing, it's everything. That's all. It just has to be everything. Because the thing is, right? The Star Wars Battlefront should be being played to this day, but it's not.
It is, but not the way it should be. I get you trying to say, like,
the way it should be,
not the way it should be, but it is getting played.
Because the original Battlefront 3 that we saw, the leaks of what they was doing, they didn't show any of that energy, and because that's what these CEOs getting away, man.
Because the Battlefront games got caught up in the Hollywoodness of the new trilogy.
Yeah,
like you could play as Finn and Rey and Kylo Ren, and that's where I kind of felt like, bro, like
for the low price of a microtransaction,
like. Please, EA, don't try to attach this to nothing.
I don't think they will. I think the reports that have come out with them, especially that now that their sports games aren't selling the way they used to, I think it's like that. Like, yo, y'all, these practices you guys have been using for the past 15 years are not working anymore. Like, we're starting to see these gaming companies of like Ubisoft included, like, you guys have literally been doing the same thing for the past 10 years because it's worked. I get it. But you have not innovated enough now that things have caught up and surpassed you. You don't know what to do. You're literally throwing things at the wall. And for what we're seeing, with Ubisoft about Assassin's Creed, apparently Shadows is probably not going to get it done. So
no, it's not.
It's not going to get it done.
Mirage,
that game is
Mirage just came and gone, and it was like, bro, there was like nothing.
This is the true successor of the not the Prince of Persia, but the Assassin's Creed you always wanted. After 44 installments, I don't care. Like, like, dog, y'all killed y'all milked yourselves, and in the one shot y'all had to make an Assassin's Creed movie to be good, y'all do nothing with it. Y'all have Michael Fat.
During the era of Ezio, you hire Michael Fassbender, who's an amazing actor, but not in coincidence with what we're trying to do with the games.
Pedro Pascal would have been a good pick, right?
Oh, by the way,
1000%.
By the way, because I always gotta give them their credit. No Man's Skies has released another update.
This guy funny, man.
The power of seeing it through. But a quick last segment before we move on to our next segment of our episode. Tim threw this into the chat like 10 minutes before we started recording, because Capcom did a stream not too long before we started recording. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 now officially has a release date of May 16th, as well as announcing an Onimusha 2 remaster. And fellas, how are we feeling about both?
No more remasters, bro. I'm tired of that, bro. Like, because even it's just like, all right, I was happy, they're bringing this property back, and I'm actually going to check out they actually did a Netflix anime adaptation. I'm actually going to check that out. Mm-hmm. I'm happy this property was revived, but I was like, bro, a remastered of part 2. I like we did ask for
no, I would want what they did with Ninja Gaiden Black. I'll take that.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Okay. I mean, Fighting Collection, I'm happy. I thought it was going to be released in March. I thought it was like an early spring. I was like, bro, May?
Me too. ROMs. They're ROMs. We roll back netcode. That's it. What are we waiting for? Like, just drop it.
I was like, May?
Drop it. It will sell. Like Capcom Collection.
Maybe they're trying to tie it. Maybe they're trying to tie it with something with Street Fighter, but it's like, actually no, because Elena should come out
probably
soon.
Before then.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what are we clearing the lane for with this greatest hits? Just drop it.
maybe they trying to update fighting collection on Capcom Fighting Jam to make it something
maybe to make it a worthwhile purchase and investment. But all right, So now we're going to move on to another segment that we are introducing moving forward. It's a little segment that we like to call Back to Formula. Now, for those who don't know,
Back to Formula.
The first Spider-Man movie, the Tobey Maguire, William Dafoe universe, gave us a lifetime of internet memes. Y'all know the biggest one. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself, right? But there's a couple other ones that we really enjoyed. Another one that, of course, is a Norman Osborn original, the Back to Formula, right, that he uses. And we decided to name this segment in honor of that, of certain announcements and things that came out where it's like, y'all weren't ready for this to hit the worldwide. This needed to kind of go back and figure it out all over. Yeah, this needed a little bit more time to be ready for consumption. And y'all got to go back to formula. So we got a couple things on the docket that got to go back to formula tonight. First one being, we're kind of going to circle back a little bit to one of our earlier topics, but let's talk about these PC releases, man. How many more times are we going to get a PC release that's dead on the water the day it releases? Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2 right now is an almost unplayable state, depending on the copy you bought. Why? Fellas, tell us, why do we keep getting these, we'll fix it in post, PC releases?
I feel like the studio that they purchased to do the transfers, I feel like, all right, first of all, I feel like more resources need to be poured into them, so that way these ports are up to par. And also, I do feel like, to give them extra room to actually grow, they need to drop the same day the game comes out.
Or not,
because I kind of feel like the momentum. Yeah, because I kind of feel like the momentum is kind of weird to me. It's like, okay, we've already had Spider-Man 2 for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here's the PC update
with nothing new.
Okay.
And it don't work.
I mean, I'm happy for the people on PC who want to play it. But I do feel like if you truly bought this studio to tap into that market, it needs to release the same day. Because think about it. Imagine, like I said, the social media elements. Imagine the reels about, oh, this is how it is on my PS5 Pro compared to my whatever PC, and the specs and the changes and the web slinging, frames per second, all that good stuff. Now, it may sound minuscule to somebody, but there's a lot of people who take that seriously,
especially the PC players.
So I just kind of feel like, when it comes to ports, it's always just a hand-me-down that I'm like, oh yeah, just buy it, but we'll fix it later. That's whenever I hear port, that's what comes to mind to me.
But that's why I said, as a back to formula segment, I'm like, that should not be the case in 2025. We've been hearing this for year after year after year after year. Last of Us PC needs an immediate fix. So-and-so PC needs an immediate fix. I'm like, then why didn't you? This is a game that was already dropping a year after the console release. Fix it. Like, take it back to formula, literally, fixed out the bugs, and then drop it when it's ready to go. Like, what are y'all doing? What are we doing here? Like, I agree with you, Tim. I think that the gap between console and PC release is going to get shorter and shorter. But I think the overall thing of like, we got to optimize these things better, y'all. Like, I shouldn't be like looking at one clip of Spider-Man swinging in 4K, 120 frames per second, and the most beautiful thing I've seen, and then it stutters and drops frames and crashes.
Nothing but faces and eyeballs hanging like the Assassin's Creed 4. Boy,
right. It's
was
like,
that an era?
Like, what's because it goes back to our conversation we had last week, S-Rank, of like, PC is not as user-friendly as it needs to be. It's such an uphill battle on PC. It's not, it's just, you gotta kind of like write. It's almost like back in the day we had to write down like a game cheat of like, okay, it was down, left, up,
your room
right.
gotta be cold.
Yeah,
your room gotta be cold.
I gotta put my
your monitor's gotta be cold.
Right, I gotta put my monitor. Your computer gotta be its own fan. Yeah, bro, it's
quiet. You want this quantum drive chip? It has to be submerged under non-salted water.
Right, and that's after you spent $2,000 to buy it, like, for the chip.
And Wait, you just bought that chip? Next week we got a new NVIDIA Quantum Turbo. The $2,000 price point is now $5,000
right,
price
with
point.
30% more cooling.
30% more cooler, and it's still stronger than my 4090. Like, oh man. Oh,
so another topic underneath the back to formula, which is open for debate, but I think we're kind of on the same page. I'm just curious to know as to your why. BioWare being now reportedly to be now under 100 employees working on Mass Effect, the next Mass Effect game. Are we
back to formula? We are back to formula.
Because like when I hear that term, I kind of feel like that means scramble it. Because I kind of feel like if it didn't meet your financial expectations, now you're just scrambling to bring out something that, that's just going to make you money. Because like, even for example, I mean, I've been hearing, oh yeah, we're bringing back Need for Speed, but we're focused on Battlefield right now. It's kind of like, bro, like these companies, they're hurting, bro.
Yeah,
bro.
These are not competent moves at all.
They are hurting so bad, bro. Like, because first of all, with me, when EA and their sports titles, I kind of feel like, all right, in 2025, do you really need a yearly release for these things, especially with patches and overhauls? And like I said, No Man's Sky has just released another, 5 to 6 days ago, they released another update. Do you necessarily need this particular sports title to have a yearly release? Do you really need to? Because to be honest, that's the prime definition of a live service game to me.
Maybe from like a licensing standpoint, like if they don't release a new game, they have to
because I get it when the players shift. I mean, I don't know how that works. You got to deal with the NBA and NFL
right.
mafia.
I would imagine that's the case.
But I would think that would make primary sense.
I mean, like we always say on this pod, bro, the things that make sense are the things that they run from.
It's because I kind of do feel like, yes, certain aspects of like even video games need to evolve, bro, because it's like, yes, bro, like if you're telling me if I buy this sports title 6 months after its release, I'm technically already too late.
Yes.
In a way.
Because you're now 6 months ahead of time from the new game you're about to get.
Yeah, because you're already gearing up just to sell me the next one. So it's like, what is the real purpose of this purchase? So
yeah, NFL games need to be live service
right now, bro, and they're just trying to bank on brand loyalty to get something out. Like, yeah, I get it. Andromeda didn't really do the best in their perspective. All right, so what about Mass Effect that you're going to bring that is going to change the scale? And that's what I'm trying to say, bro. Like,
listen, look, you like let's. I think we're forgetting some parts. The entire staff of Dragon Age is Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's in the breeze, yeah.
Is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Scattered to the wind.
Straight 5 pieces of Exodia. Mind crush. 5 pieces of Exodia summoning on the board.
Oh,
we're not laughing at it in regular light of people losing their jobs.
We're not. We're crying. This laughter is tears. You ever something ever hurt so bad you just laughed?
Yes.
That's what this is. That's what this is, man. Like, I mean, like my goodness. And the thing is like, I really feel it's gonna get to the point. You were a part of what team? Leave that out of your resume. Just leave it out of your resume. Leave it out of your resume.
Sabbatical for the past 5 years.
Yeah, just leave it out of your resume. Take a part-time job as a teacher somewhere. Do some arts and crafts. Come back. Get over your depression because you're gonna have to detox from the. You're gonna have to detox.
Yeah.
Get over the depression. Hire a therapist. Do whatever you got to do. And my goodness. Like Darkseid say, use the old ways. Ready the Armada? And you see what DICE is doing? They're using the old ways. And that's a segment right there. We will use the old ways. No, look at Astrobot. What did they do? They use the old ways.
Yeah, that man pretty much got on stage and said that we use Super Mario 64 as a template. It's like, well, it worked. You did a good job.
Sonic, what did you do in the latest movie? You used reference? You mean the old ways.
Right.
The old ways. So my thing, yeah.
I was gonna say, like,
go ahead.
in terms of Mass Effect, I'm like, let's not forget, we're also living in a post Baldur's Gate 3 world where my choices were endless in that game. I could do and be whoever I wanted, and the writing for these choices were good.
How was the story and as a whole? Was it a 10? Because I never get the complete review.
Me either, but like apparently it's hovering anywhere between an 8 to a 10, depending on who you talk to.
Okay. For The Witcher, I get quick, clear answers. For Baldur's Gate, okay, if it's between an 8 and a 10.
Some people look all the way through. Some people like that said the last act is a little wonky, but I'm just like, for a game that had that many choices to still kind of be in that ballpark of like, hey, they didn't fumble the last part, but they didn't quite. I'm like that. Hey,
I mean, if I know this is off topic, but this to me, in my opinion, this was the year of the second man. And what do I mean by that? Yeah, this for the last probably I'd say from 2023, mid 2023 till now was the year of the second man, meaning the companies that weren't your big companies, they were themselves through and through are the ones that are excelling now.
Okay.
You know, like they're unapologetically themselves. Warframe is unapologetically themselves. You know what I'm saying? Focus Entertainment is unapologetically themselves. Like they got games that's out, and for them to be 7s, that's actually very good. 7.5s, no 6s. I enjoyed Evil West.
So did I.
I enjoyed it, man. I said, dog, this is a video game.
Definitely a little bit of AA jank, but overall,
oh no, but that's that good 360 jank.
Yeah, bro. Like I can see the invisible wall
we didn't have enough time. Yeah, you know it's because we didn't have enough time. You know it's because they didn't have enough time. Otherwise, they would have gave you the moon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was the year of the second man. Focus Entertainment is balling, in my opinion. It's the year of the second man. Look at how much fun people were having with until Sony decided to mess it up with I almost said Killzone. Helldivers. You know what I'm saying? I almost said Killzone. Jeez. Like Helldivers 2. Look how much fun they were having with that, man. Look how much fun people were having with that. It's the year of the second man. Games that weren't supposed to be or on paper as good are like now. Woohoo.
Yeah. I know. I'm with you.
There are many examples. Little Big Planet, big example. What else? Not Little Big Planet. Astrobot. Sorry, Astrobot. Mario Wonder. That wasn't supposed to be. I wasn't expecting that to be
for real. That game. I told y'all. I'm like, that game is a lot of fun. It's just creative for creative sake. Sure, Mario's an elephant
the
now,
Kirby
whatever.
game. You know the Kirby game. Like there's a lot of stuff that's just like, man. Dread, Metroid Prime. I mean, that's a flagship game, but Nintendo don't care about Samus. They don't care about Samus. They don't care about Star Fox. They don't care about Captain Falcon. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, those are the most advertised characters that are played on your Smash Brothers game, but I digress.
They don't even care about Smash Brothers if we keep it in the book, but that's a conversation for another time.
just one man.
Yeah, if we keep it in the book. If it wasn't for the talent of one man, boy, that they would be like, what's Smash Brothers? But the other thing is that we're on the Back to Formula docket, which we can, I guess, cover real quick, is Multiversus is ending in the spring.
Told you.
No, yeah, I mean, we've said it before. Like, you had the closest thing that you could probably get to a Smash Brothers contender, and you decided to trip over your own shoelaces again with your IP again. So it's almost like, again, I feel bad for the developers, but I'm like, Warner Brothers, just stop. Back to form.
No.
Take it back to the lab.
But it's does Warner Brothers own HBO?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a property of theirs.
Okay. That's everything you guys need to know. It's MasterCard. It's everywhere you want to be. It's done. It's
so
done.
That explains the Game of Thrones game for no reason.
Nothing. Okay. You mean to tell me I'm gonna put my Game of Thrones world is not fantastical? You can only tell that game successfully through a Tattletale game.
Telltale.
Where choices, Telltale game. I'm sorry, Telltale game. 'Cause, I'm not really familiar with the company. I just Telltale game. It's best done that way, because you already have Lord of the Rings: Shadow of Mordor, right? Tell us another story. I don't care if we're not a Wraith Elf anymore, Calibrimgor. Let's go beyond it if we can. Like, this is where you have the liberty to be a game, right? Marvel Rivals is a success because it chose to be a game first. We don't care that this doesn't look like Wolverine from the movies, because Wolverine from the movies is not the main continuity. We don't care. We want where it was birthed. If it was birthed in the realm of creativity and unique character designs, let's see some of that. Let's see some of that.
Yeah,
and therefore, you got that. Like, there's no way as this segment, like, they have to go back to formula, but they can't, because they're literally going back to formula because they're nothing no more.
Right.
HBO is no longer HBO. It's called Max. How original. Who's making these? Who's at these board meetings? How old are these boomers?
I don't know, bro. I don't, like, when I look at that roster sometimes in Multiverses, I'm like, why in what world, when you have these IPs, you're like, I'm gonna have Arya Stark fight Batman, and this is gonna be amazing. And then I'm gonna introduce characters from the Adventures of.
Why is Arya Stark in the game? And Game of Thrones is for what age group exactly?
Right.
But I think it was meant to be wonky, though. I really did think it was. I mean, I was looking through some forums, and certain people, there was actually a good crowd of people. They actually did like it. They actually liked the wonkiness of it. They felt like it was something that you could just build with, and I kind of feel like that's where these companies are not understanding that this is something that you could have built on. But due to WB's crazed state, it was going to be tore apart, bro. It was going to be tore apart. Like Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, and then their biggest announcement, they said back to formula, was they said the properties that they're going to focus on: Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, Batman, and I forgot what the other one was.
Harry Potter.
And it's like, well, yeah, like they said, they're scrambling. They're about to sell you another Arkham title, prequel, sequel, in the middle.
Harry Potter game did numbers. You did nothing with.
Nothing
with it, bro. Oh, but we released a Quidditch game. Yeah, you mean that DLC that was supposed to be part of the main game?
What?
And like I said, bro, Hogwarts Legacy stay on sale, bro. Every Sony sales Hogwarts Legacy is on sale.
Apparently, Batman VR is probably one of the most better written Batman games they've gotten in years, and it's only on your Meta Quest.
Yeah.
Why?
Just to be honest, bro, like I said, man, like, some of these properties, yes, there's room to grow, but then it's just like, bro, like I said, man, there's a lot of Hollywood economics that are just getting involved. And when you got a property like WB, which is connected to HBO, that's also very scary territory. Because they always they're trying to connect it to something else.
So
super scary.
So Tim, what you're telling me is that we're going to be getting a White Lotus Among Us at some point. Is that what I'm hearing? Clue, a who did it, a who done it, White Lotus
actually,
the game.
That would actually be very interesting.
No, it wouldn't, Tim. No, it wouldn't. I was joking.
I mean, all right. I like murder mystery. So
do I.
But yeah, and that's what I'm saying, bro. It's very scary territory to be in, because like I said, bro, once the T1000 drops, bro, this game is just going to be.
Gentlemen,
it's in the work.
It's been a pleasure.
In the work, yeah.
Like
in the words of Kenshiro,
like this hype for Conan is just. Ugh.
It came in.
You mean Thunder? Not Chief Thunder. Well, what's his name again, man? What's the barbarian name again from Killer Instinct, man?
Thunderhawk? No, not Thunderhawk.
No, it's not Thunder.
And yeah,
Chief Thunder. Yeah.
Last back to formula segment though, which is kind of weird timing because they apparently are celebrating a level of success. Sparking Zero has sold 5 million copies as of the time of this recording, which is the fastest selling Dragon Ball Z game that has been out in years. But to Tim's point of not caring, that DLC of Superhero came out and disappeared just as fast.
Because it's color, it's palettes, bro. It's palettes. Like you got 4 versions of Piccolo to do like 2 of the same moves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's Gohan.
2 of his forms are literally just palette swaps.
Literally just palette swaps, bro. That's all it is. And it's like I said, bro,
no red ribbon base, no more customizable moves, no new maps in general, no modes worth, investing in. I'm like, this is, and again, it's beautiful. Like, I'm like, Beast Gohan's model, his ultimate, I'm like, and then, colors is coloring, but they're
gonna drop a Daima pack. They might drop granola and whatever, but it's just, that's all it is, bro. Yeah. It's just toys color palettes, bro. And that's why I just kind of felt like, bro, I stand to what I said, bro. Fighter Z is right there.
But Fighter Z ain't sell 5 million, Tim.
I don't care. The quality speaks for itself.
Namco Bandai care.
I mean, they could. I mean, because that's what it was for, bro. They knew people want that mindless consumerism of just, because they saw it with Xenoverse, bro. As much as they complained,
they bought it.
Oh, you want extra buff Jiren? Okay. You want Jiren with no shirt on? Okay.
I'll sell them to
you. You want 4 versions of Dragon Ball Super Broly? Okay.
Man.
And so like here comes Daima Vegeta. Oh, you want mini Vegeta?
Well, that pack's
Super Saiyan mini Vegeta.
Who did one attack, if that, in that form?
oh yeah, but he goes Super Saiyan 3 now.
Yeah, we spent a little bit of budget on the episode, so just imagine being able to do that yeah.
Oh, you want Majin Do and what's the other one?
Cool.
All right.
Because apparently Toriyama's a Star Wars fan and Dooku. I said, all right, whatever. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, right?
Whatever. We definitely going to listen to everything he has to say.
Abra's father's name is Abra, right? Why not? Right? Where's his sister Cabra, right? If this is what we're doing, abracadabra, right? Like, come on now,
man, yo. First form, the second form cell was supposed to be perfect cell.
Right.
Editor, where are you?
Where's that guy? Where's the Android Saga editor to come in like, listen,
you want to do what?
Y'all got to tell him no.
Fix this.
So but once after some of those if they do some of those super arcs as characters, it's kind of like, all right, so where does this game go from there? Like after the granola arc and the memorial arc is like, what are we doing with this property?
I think that's the issue Dragon Ball is having as a whole. Like, I definitely think that's a thing that deserves its own topic at some point. Of like, we're starting to see Dragon Ball start to slowly kind of spin its wheels again. Of like, I don't think they know where to go from here. It's starting to look that way.
Because to be honest, after our breakdown segment of the movies, I was really starting to drift over to Joy's point about a reboot, man. Because especially when we got to about Cooler and Android 13, I was like, yeah, bro, there was so much more that they were trying to do with these characters. Like, especially 13, I kind of felt like they kind of fumbled it a bit, but there was something here that it was supposed to be much bigger, especially when we were talking about the series and stuff. And then even like what I said about Garlic Jr., like Garlic Jr. is one of my favorite villains to me because he's that essence of, he feels like the epilogue to Dragon Ball, but then the introduction to Z. Like he really feels like that transfer over type of material and what is to expect from there. And then, of course, like Tree of Might is a cult classic to me for many reasons. It's just like, yeah,
do you know how crazy?
Do
you know how crazy it is for Turles and his gang to like literally defect from Frieza's forces? For him to go ahead and now, we're gonna plant these trees until we get power.
First of all, where did you even get?
I'm about to say like the trees that came from God knows where.
Yeah.
But hey, that's fire though.
Yeah.
That makes your enemy a threat. Where did he get it from? How did he get it? Right. So now you have so many direction. And then Frieza, if it is a Frieza force, let's meet the family of Frieza. If, like
let's meet his race.
They're probably from the demon realm.
No, they don't. They're not pointed ears, so that's the other thing. If they have pointed ears,
but they have horns.
Or then, like, even when I was watching Dragon Ball Super, I was thinking about when they did the introduction of Frieza, and King Cold said, "I'm retiring." I immediately thought about Cooler. Like, what made you overlook your first son for this child? Because now, even when I saw Frieza in that state, now I understood Cooler's movie about how he was talking about Frieza. Like, Frieza is a child in their race.
Mm-hmm.
When you really look at it, Frieza might be a preteen for all we know. And it's like, but what made you overlook your first son, who you could tell, like, he's more refined? Like, when I really look back at the Return of Cooler, bro, I was like, bro, like, he was vicious from the way how he fought them and how he planned them, how he lured them to this planet. I was like, bro, this dude is very tactical. He's very scary. He's more scary than Cell to me.
The things that we see, the recurring things that we see in Dragon Ball, and we'll talk about this especially more when we talk about Daima, it's like we keep seeing these things where it's like, to give them their credit, there's a basis to a lot of amazing ideas, right? Because a lot of times our theories are just like, it's based off of the groundwork that they've laid. It's just like, why didn't you just see this through? Yeah, like, just see this through. You were on to something amazing. Just push a little more.
But you know what I think? Like, especially, what I really think about, like, Daima? I think, like, Daima was a response to One Piece's success on Netflix with the Eggland arc. I kind of feel like, especially, like I said, the Hollywood economics of today, everything's about streams. How many people tuned in to watch this episode at this time over the days, and how many times you watched it back, the reels on your phone, Instagram, and stuff like that. Like, Daima was just done strictly for animation, bro. Like, this story is whack.
We're gonna talk about it because it's on the docket. It's on the docket. Like, we're gonna talk about it.
And I kind of feel like it goes back. It reflects into their games. They're reaching a pinnacle point where, all right, you've remixed Raditz all the way to Kid Buu with a little DLC packs from GT and Super. You've reached that pinnacle point, and it's like, so where do you go from here? Because it kind of looks like after, due to respect, after Toriyama's death, it kind of looks like, bro, y'all don't even know what to do with this story as a whole anymore.
Mm-hmm. You barely know what to do when he was around. So,
do you need to go back to the formula yourself? Because I go back to that TN and Master Roshi clip that I sent y'all. I was like, bro, that was Dragon Ball. Like, that was some prime storytelling and just.
Right. It's just good writing.
But here's my thing. Like, how much of that is actually Toriyama? Because Toriyama just likes his gags. He doesn't really never comes across as super deep. You know what I'm saying? Because
I think it just kind of boils down to, like, this is what happened. Like, I keep telling y'all over and over, when it comes to these game developers, you don't want someone who's too creative without someone to keep them in check a little bit. It's like a yin and a yang that makes a perfect thing. If you let somebody who, like Toriyama, who this is his strength, he knows how to make something funny, he knows how to make a good design, great. He should not be writing all the story beats. Y'all should not have let him write the entirety of Resurrection of F, because my goodness, that was bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things where it's like with certain developers, I'll say it all the time, Hideo Kojima, I'm like, he needs someone in his corner to be like, absolutely not. Like, they need it. You got to have someone to be like, hey, man, nah.
Yeah, you do, right?
Nah, I was on board, but this part here,
Imagine Sigourney Weaver making a video game studio, kid.
No, Sigourney Weaver were the original directors making that. Some of those things weren't just her idea. But to move on to the things that are PSS approved. Now, what that means is there are certain things that came up recently that we had to put our stamp on. Things that are like, unquestionably, undoubtedly, these things were fire, all flame emojis in the chat type energy. S-Rank, you had the first nomination for PSS approved with the latest Ninja Gaiden trailer. Tell us why you decided to put that in this particular segment.
The reason why, even though the game is not out yet, off of the trailer, off of the team that's doing it, a lot of my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, I would say Ninja Gaiden, and also Metal Gear Solid Rising, Revengeance. Because it was something that I didn't know I needed. Ninja Gaiden as well. Ninja Gaiden it's the cure because it's these games were before everybody was saying Souls-like. Like, you guys never tried to test your might against any video game. Like, you guys don't know what strength is. Like, there was Devil May Cry, there was Prince of Persia. They all played different. There was Ninja Gaiden. They all played different. There was give me another one, another action game where it's combo heavy. There was many games, several,
or
where
before
heavy. This mechanics heavy before any a God of War. You feel me?
God of War.
Like,
even Prototype, not for nothing. Low key.
Prototype. Yeah. Like, where were you guys when these games were out? Like, you guys, you have no big brothers that played these interesting games.
Right.
all you care for is a medieval aesthetic and a couple of dragons that are rotting with flesh coming off their bones. That's it. And so
no checkpoint system. Like, goated.
Like, you guys
try playing with finite lives. Try that.
Yeah, like
game over screen.
Like, so you guys can't handle supersonic parry.
Right.
That's what we had to deal with. Go ahead and fight Glory and Grace in Bayonetta 1.
Oh my goodness. And they were common enemies.
Good luck with your life bar. Bayonetta 1, guys. So yeah, my thing was like, it's a great answer to this Souls verbiage, because the IGN staff can't play a decent game, or don't know what their verbiage goes out the window when it comes to a game they've never played before. So
good point.
My thing,
great point.
Yeah, it was all of them. So those news publishers, the editors, or whatever, the journalists. And so for me, it's a great combination of seeing what I wanted Itagaki to be a part of this latest creation, of course. But Itagaki is the original the one who did the revamp of that Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive. And so for me, I'm excited, and that's why it gets my PSS approval. The direction I see it's going. My only thing is like, okay, you guys did this with Bayonetta. When we play Ninja Gaiden, we want to play as Ryu. Yeah. So this new protagonist, this is what you should have done with Yaiba, but I don't want to play someone like years younger. I don't want to play a 14-year-old. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Either you make a rival the same age as Ryu, and then that would, like, had you guys would have been like, yo, let's make Ryu Hayabusa fight a Shinobi clan from the Shinobi game. Like, let's make our own version. That would have been something. That would have been, oh, this is gonna be a dope rivalry. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing I can say. I feel like his gameplay reminiscent. You can see the influence of Metal Gear Solid Rising 2 in the works that was supposed to be, but hopefully that was
a different era.
It's just moved assets. Yeah, different era Platinum games. It was just moved assets, but for what I'm seeing, it gets my PSS rank of approval, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tim, you had said in the chat that you agree with Jory in terms of putting in this segment, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I enjoyed Ninja Gaiden, man. I really did. I liked the universe. I was very surprised to see this make a return of another installment. I know after that Razor's Edge dark period, things were a bit wonky. But then to be honest, because especially when I thought back to like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I remember that's how it started. So now you've gotten the old and the new in terms of, well, I would say the old and the modern.
Yes,
I would say. Yeah. So, and I like how they did that. I feel like a lot of people are like Loki studying Sega and SNK. I feel like a lot of companies are starting to study them of how do you revive your properties in ways that, you reconnect with your audience and it's something fruitful.
Okay.
So even when they did I was like, they did another collection of like Ninja Gaiden 2. I was like, we already have that. But then I realized it's a little different specs here and there. I was like, all right, whatever. If you haven't played it, it's good for you.
Yeah, it's like a director's cut edition, essentially.
Yeah. So it was like, whatever. So, but then, you're still getting a whole next installment. So I'm excited to see where they go with this. Yeah, I'm just excited to see. Because I feel like especially a company like they're called Koei Tecmo, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see like where they see themselves. Like, because like I said, bro, I do kind of feel like they're one of those old studios where like they were the pinnacle of their age. But then, if things modernize, they kind of just been on the back burner. But then how do you come back into the fold?
Yeah, and you could tell that they're trying. Apparently, even their Dynasty Warrior game is a complete revamp of that entire formula. It's like you could tell that Koei Tecmo is also trying to. That's what I've heard too. Like they're trying to like really kind of, okay, our legacy IPs, how can we breathe some new life into them? So like even when S-Rank got nominated, I'm like, I'm not mad at this decision. I was surprised based off of a trailer. Like we don't know how it plays yet. We don't know. Like we've seen great trailers before and how that's panned out. But all right, I'm down with approving the trailer of Ninja Gaiden 4. I have no.
And, it's a good Devil May Cry fix as well.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's what a lot of people are actually looking forward to as well, especially after the disappointment of that last one. Well, I wouldn't say disappointment. I would say lukewarm response to that.
But Tim, want to point something out to you. Capcom has a pattern. If you see the anime and we didn't ask for, there's a game coming. Dragon's Dogma 2 had an anime, and now there's a game.
I actually did watch that.
Right? And now there's an anime. We saw what's on there? Onimusha? Did we ask for Onimusha? No, but guess what we're getting? Onimusha. Monster Hunter out of nowhere, out of season? What's up with this Monster Hunter animation movie? Here we are, February 28th.
Roll out.
roll out.
First single drop.
Monster Hunter with it was Alice and I think T.I. was in it too.
Yeah.
I was like, that's such an odd pairing.
Capcom, boy.
That is such an odd pairing, bro.
Capcom. If the Resident Evil anime movies have told us anything, Capcom has got a Capcom. What? You know what? Whatever.
Actually, Jory, you made a very good point because I think because Resident Evil Village came out, I believe so, and then that's when that Alcatraz movie came out. A little bit up.
That movie was.
I guess, and I guess what for the Resident Evil game, right? Who is the main characters of this Resident Evil superhero team up, Avengers team up? Leon Kennedy. Yep. No. Leon Kennedy and Jill. They were the main highlights. All of them were in that last movie. They were all in there. They were all there. But the most notable scenes was Leon Kennedy and Jill.
Oh yeah, because you can't. They're the OGs, bro. You can't.
No. I'm going somewhere.
No disrespect is allowed with those people.
I know, no disrespect. So now when we see the next Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil 9. You feel me? I want 5.
Yeah,
I want 5, man.
Me too.
I want 5. Oh, that 5 remake? Yeah. Oh, but
maybe a little online co-op elements because it's more of an action game. Just saying.
Hey man, yes sir. I listen. I don't care. I'm gonna be as bold as possible and say I want a Resident Evil 6 remake. Y'all can make it happen. Yeah, Resident Evil 6 wasn't a bad game. It just got a little too crazy, but it's very fun.
They can retcon
The story. They gotta retcon it. They gotta retcon it, but they can still make it work.
That was a lot. Because to be honest, bro, you could actually just cancel out that whole game and go straight to 7. You really could.
I mean, they could. They might not though.
There's nothing that happened in 6.
Money, Tim.
Oh no, they're gonna remake 6, man. Yeah. They're going to. I'm telling you,
money.
They're gonna remake 6. They're gonna say this is the Resident Evil we always wanted to make, and then we're gonna take we gonna be like, oh no.
Because they've been cooking, right? Like let's not. Resident Evil 4 remake was I haven't played it yet, but I'm like, apparently no one has any complaints. So knock out the gate with 5. 6 is right around the corner. But to move on to our essentially second to last segment of the night, the Otaku Insights, the manga and anime commentary that we've often neglected on this gaming and anime podcast. We'll be like, games. Yo, look at the time. Well, anime, we'll get to it at some point. We're still watching it. We're still reading it, but we're not going to talk about it on this podcast. The two topics we want to talk about tonight. The first one I wanted to kind of get you guys' opinion on. Obviously, it's a still developing thing. There's not really much to discuss in terms of like a play-by-play, but it's been revealed. And warning, spoiler warning. I can't emphasize this enough. This is why we have the segments. If you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to skip ahead. One Piece spoilers. Apparently, it's been revealed that Shanks is a twin. He has a brother. An older twin brother, actually, who is a part of the nobles. He works on the Saints armies for the world nobles, the ones that wear the bubbles around their heads and super spoiled, like Doflamingo's people.
Yeah,
he's one of the holy knights.
I mean,
and he has a devil fruit sword that makes a Cerebus.
I mean, I guess we'll see. We shall see, said the blind man.
A devil fruit that's a sword?
No, it's a sword. It's kind of like how Spandam had the elephant sword. He has a Cerebus sword.
He has a mythic Zoan sword.
Yes.
Because remember, like I said, bro, everything about to be mythic Zoan now, bro.
So
it projects a Cerebus, and each dog can project a blade out of his mouths, and it can move independent of his blade.
We will see.
I was like, you're so quiet. Tori's in shock. Tim's like, okay.
My thing is like, this not the final boss?
Maybe. So that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up, right? The thing that kind of like had me scratching my head is like, because we've talked about this before of like, if Luffy wants to be the Pirate King, essentially he has to take on the Emperors, Shanks being one of them. But we know Shanks, at least up until this point, we were guessing he's not really a bad guy in the sense that Kaido is, or Big Mom. But I kind of feel like, is this a way for them to kind of get around Luffy having to fight Shanks proper? He's going to fight Shanks' brother as like the pseudo Luffy versus Shanks?
I think so,
It's kind of half because Shanks always gave me the sensei vibe. He's a form of Kakashi in a way. Like he just, you could tell they're more focused about the new gen and what they could do for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially a man with all this power, if he really wanted to, he could have done it.
Yes. For sure.
And then you could also sense that from his crew as well. Like they just love to just light. They just love life. They just love to exist. Like you could tell they don't have these overbearing ambitions.
Yes. They don't want to rule anything. They don't want to oppress.
Because even when Kid showed up, they were laughing. They were laughing. I mean, because they shot his arm off the first time. But
boy.
it's the simple fact of the matter is even when Shanks was running because he saw the future, Ben was like, oh, well, I guess he saw something bad.
Right. No sense of urgency.
They have no sense of urgency. Even when Mihawk shows up, like, hey, you want a drink?
Yeah.
So it's I mean, yeah. And then, it's with One Piece, I'm trying to figure out, all right, I like the fact that they don't have this ranking system when it comes to a big bad, because first of all, you still got to fight the last 4 admirals, technically. You still got to fight Blackbeard, and then now you got to fight the devil himself.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, they're throwing different factors, different characters out there, but I love the fact that there's no true ranking system, I would say.
Yeah, which is worked in some ways and not in others, right? Like I think one of the critiques that we had, we're talking about Kaido, is like because Kaido's so strong, it's hard to like. So if Luffy keeps getting back up, does that mean he wins by default? You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things of like how did he bridge? Is Luffy now on Kaido's level? Is that what I'm supposed to get from this, or he was able to wear him down enough to win? Right? It's hard to say with One Piece.
It's half and half, bro. Like it really is, because like especially with some of the Eggland fight scenes, it's like I was like, yeah, like Rob Lucci is on another level compared to where he was before, but that fight scene did kind of feel like the Fishman arc scene. Like, yeah, bro, they're about to murder y'all boys.
Yeah.
Like y'all just don't know what we've been through. So
right. It's probably the most one-sided.
Like, and it shows that it really does, bro. Like even with with the Pafistas, it's like. Like when Zoro was taking on Mihawk Jr., it's kind of like you could tell like he was urgent, but he wasn't overly scared.
Right. You didn't feel like they were gonna lose.
Yeah. Like, he's like, I understand that. Hey, yeah, bro, you got some instant kill moves, but I'm able to deal with
maneuver.
This.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is like, all right, so what is to really truly come after this? Because even this Hashirama Admiral guy. Nobody cares about this dude anymore.
Yeah.
And Fujitora is just kind of like, the Marines. I've seen the error of their ways. I was like, this dude might just defect any day now.
Yeah.
So it's like all you really have is Kizaru and Akainu, and Kizaru just feels like a mercenary at this point.
Exactly. And even with Kizaru, like now he's starting to show his hesitations because apparently him and what's his name, the doctor, Vegapunk, were like great friends growing up. So he's sent to kill his best friend or one of his old friends as a Navy order. I'm glad that it's still managed to be so unpredictable after all this time. But like when I see stuff of like Shanks has a twin brother, it's like, do we need this late hour plot twist at this point in the story with as many things that are going on? Like, do we really need this?
But that's what I said, but the final arc in One Piece language could really mean 4 years from now. Like, bro, you could be on your second kid by then.
We will all be well into our 40s by the time One Piece is actually over. I'm calling it right now.
Man, dog, if I get a child before this, dog, my son turned 2. Oh my gosh,
Lord!
Jeez,
but yeah, I wanted to discuss that with y'all. Cause I'm just like, man, I don't know. Like Oda, again, you've done it on a level that probably can't be replicated. But it's just like, a brother.
I'm looking forward to it, bro. Like
said, with a mythical sword.
A mythical zone. Like I said, bro, everything is about to be mythical zone.
You're absolutely right.
Because like, and even like after the last fight scene with Garp, it's like you already know that Sengoku is going to come back.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure as a mythical zone who turns to Buddha,
right,
your only power is not shockwave fists.
Right. It's about to be a war of the deities in the last arc.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you got Loki, you got Buddha, you got Sun God. It's like, bro, like, okay, so where, like, you might as well just bring back Enel.
Yeah, at this point.
Revenge of the Logias.
Plus, the what's called the Sea Princess is apparently the reincarnation of Poseidon. And all like, it's just, or Neptune or whatever the case. It's like, all right, okay. War of the gods.
That's exactly
I'm just hoping this doesn't turn the Yu Yu Hakusho, dog. Like, you feel me? Like, man,
I don't think so. Oda's almost like overly dedicated. Like Yu Yu Hakusho, like respectfully got a little lazy towards the end. I mean, granted, still a talented guy, but like Oda, this man is meticulous. He probably has a house just for his notes of like what he's written so far with these characters.
Yeah, you're right, man.
No, but to be honest, I did feel like a Cerebus was going to come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but in the form of a sword.
It's not from a sword, but it's well.
Well, I was like, yo.
Actually, no, because remember when we found out more of the theories that Blackbeard is like a Japanese chimera. So it's like, all right, well, because originally I thought he was a Cerebus, but then like a Cerebus, but each of different powers.
Yeah.
But then I was like, all right, well, a chimera does make sense because it is a fusion of multiple things. So I'm like, all right, so if there is a Cerebus, and eventually it will come, especially after when you saw Inu and his demon sip, like
right.
Like they're all
he's
Japanese.
He's Illuminati.
Yeah, they're all Japanese demons. When you look at it. It's like they're really exploring this a lot. I'm liking it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm still
intrigued. Gave us werewolf animals.
Yeah. It's man. I just hope it land the ending. That's all. Like every time something happens, I'm like, I just hope this all like makes sense. Yeah. Can you pull off a Marine 4 twice? I don't know. You know,
you can. You got to have a team that's going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Of where things work and where things don't.
Yeah. Where to cut, where to off screen, what to lead to the anime team. Definitely. And then to get back into Daima proper. Now that we're 4 episodes away from the series ending, Tim, you were saying earlier that you just feel this story is pointless. Jory, you said multiple times in the chat that you're just like, you're confused because I also am confused because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be giving my attention to.
Nothing matters. It's like, it's nice animation. Great animation. I'm having fun, but I feel like I didn't like. You could have this story would have been better if you had Yancha, Tien, and people that make sense to be there with you. And then not only that, but like the demon world is not even. The demon world is not a place of interest, man. It's not.
You know what Daima feels like, but done bad. You remember like when Pokemon did those like side stories of like the games, but in different animation styles, like generations, evolutions. That's what Daima feels like. It's just something over here, but done bad. Because like I said, bro, what took me out was like, bro, a Majin Cyberman, bro. Like you really took Dragon Ball Heroes concept.
Majin Cyberman, Tim.
Like you just took that to another level, bro. And it's just gimmicky. Because like, first off, now you gotta explain why did Kibito and the Supreme Kai unfused. But if this is technically before Super, bro, you do realize they
have to fuse back. They have
to. So it's like you have to fix those plot holes, but then it's just like it was just there for animation, bro. And then like I said, the Demon Realm was not interesting. It was not interesting at all.
But that's kind of been my biggest issue with it. Of like, I don't understand, because the thing is like Toriyama is I would say very good with general world building, right? The details kind of get a little bit wonky, right? So like you look at Dragon Ball, why is the president of the Earth a dog that can speak? I have no idea. We'll never know, right? But the idea of like, here's this thing where like there's these animals.
It's not funny.
No, but what I'm saying is like in terms of like, here's why Puar and Oolong can walk right along with Android 8, who lives with, like it's like this world of like these things just kind of just happen. Right, so you have the space to kind of like fill in the gaps, and I feel like with the Demon Realm, I'm just like, other than knowing that each Tamagami had like an elemental aspect to it, I didn't see anything that hasn't been shown in like any of the planets that they visited. Like when Vegeta fought the water Tamagami, I'm like, okay, a Kraken, okay.
Even in terms of like, all right, if you're telling me you've gone to the Demon Realm, I kind of felt like they should have been more Deborah references. Because honestly, bro, like Deborah was like when you first met him, he was a very scary. Like I wouldn't say intimidating. He was intimidating.
He was
terrifying. Yeah. He was terrifying. He spit on you. You turned to stone.
When he did that little zoom and just obliterated Kibito, I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like so. But then you went to like the Tiny Toons DBZ. Like it's like, bro, the children aspect. I was like, bro, that irritates me. That really, really irritates me.
And then the thing is, the children aspect is you don't even use it properly, right? Of like, okay, this is a way to nerf them. This is a way to make fighting believable. And then as soon as they show up, they're bodying everybody anyway. So I'm like, so then what was the point of making them kids?
The demon world means nothing. Like they like they were destroying these. I'm like, yo, this is the demon world. Like that dog, they getting defeated. Like when I pray, kid. Like bro, like. I'm like, bro, they getting defeated.
For animation. It was for animation.
Yeah, no, absolutely 1,000.
And for them to like compare One Piece numbers, that's all it was.
Which I mean, to that point, Tim, Dragon Ball numbers are back up. To be fair, Dragon Ball, I think, as of last week, currently for 2025, is outselling One Piece by like $1 million.
Dragon Ball.
Because you know what I think that is, bro? They're trying. I feel like they're also struggling to stay in the limelight because they kind of feel like their end is coming. Because like they've really stretched this property on for so long, bro. And then now, you know, just like how, you know, what they say with, you know, Django Fett, like the source material is gone. Remember with the clones? Oh yeah, you know, the source material is gone, so you know we can't really produce clones like that anymore.
Right, the new batch is stepped
so
on.
It's like, so it's kind of like, yeah, like, bro, you know, due to, you know, the passing and certain things, it's just the property is not the same no more. So I do kind of feel like, bro, you just should have just given it like Super. You should have just given it a genuine send out, or to be honest, you didn't really need to. Like if actually, yeah, because now you gave Frieza a whole damn new form. Because now you got to make that make sense.
That has to have a conclusion at some point.
And then technically, if Super connects to GT, that means you have to kill Frieza all over again.
Oh, I think they've kind of like subtly confirmed that GT is his own thing.
Okay.
So
but my thing about it is, you don't gave this dude a black card transformation. What does this even mean?
Who knows?
So like, and it goes back to what Joy said. Like, how does any of this matter? And I kind of feel like they've written themselves into a hole.
I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see something interesting. I can't even say good, but interesting in the last 4 episodes, right? Like, I'm sure like there'll be some new something that will be introduced.
It's going to be.
We're going to have a first triple fusion.
No, just like how we said it's for toys. It's going to be just.
We're going to get a triple fusion, guys. Y'all ready?
It's just going to be for DLC. That's it. No substance.
Go Vegicolo or something, you know, like.
And then like my thing is
no. And I'm very upset what they did with Piccolo. Like, first of all,
oh, you mean nothing?
How did you forget that he knows Namekian? How did you forget that? That is a particular plot of one of the Dragon Ball episodes when him and Kami were talking. That's like, how do you forget?
Didn't we have somebody reply to us on the comment section?
No.
About Piccolo. I was having somebody at work had a comment about that. What I said, they're like, I guess so. They were rebuttaling me. Gave me a rebuttal, and I was just like, no, fam, just say it on the pod with us. Go on, come on. I got 3 weapons waiting for you.
Yeah, we're not going to jump you.
I got 2 weapons waiting for you.
Let me get up.
Yeah. Fight back.
But nah, Tim, I feel like Piccolo is there as like a spectator again. And it's like, it feels like I get it. Like they can't give him anything new because he doesn't get anything new to a superhero. I'm like, why is he here? You brought him here to hurt his character. Like Piccolo, one of the most intellectual fighters you guys have, he's forgotten his native tongue after assimilating
native tongue.
Come on,
and he can hear from space,
right? Like, what are we talking about?
Aaron forgot he got big. I was like, bro, that was a big fight scene in Dragon. It's like, so y'all just forgot all the Dragon Ball source material.
I mean, clearly,
the only thing you remember is his name, and that he's an alien.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with Daima. Like, I think they had a formula that I think could have worked story building wise, right? Maybe not character wise. I think you could have done more with the Demon Realm. You could have done more with these characters, right? Like, all we know is that Supreme Kai's brother and sister aren't good people. Oh wow, okay, that's amazing, right? Like, we didn't learn enough about these new characters to kind of care.
But see, that's also another plot armor, because all right, remember? Well, I guess this I guess this goes from a particular universe or time frame. Remember with Goku Black, the reason why he went to that universe was because that was the last Supreme Kai.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you're telling me there is more of them, but then how was he able, how was the God of Destruction not available technically from that time frame?
Right. And
So
why
now
is he linked to Supreme Kai in particular? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's another plot armor that you kind of just forgot about.
Right.
Which is
yeah.
What's
I'm saying? Like, it's like you have this opportunity here, like you have these characters to allow these things to kind of build in a way that is, at least, again, in terms of lore, at least, is interesting, and you don't do anything with it. Right. And like, or even what we were saying earlier on to Daima of like, here's your time now to make all these movie villains canon. Right? If the pointy ears mean Demon Realm, you can bring Garlic Jr., you can bring Slug, you can bring Janemba, and none of them have shown up. And even if they showed up in the next 4 episodes, it doesn't matter because it's like it's only 4 episodes. If Janemba pops out at episode 19, we're not gonna care. It's not gonna hold any weight.
And my thing is like, dog, these designs for these characters, man, they should have refuted you, man. Like they're trash, dog. Like Majin Ku and Majin Du. Like, if it's comic relief, then leave it like that. Yeah. Then and if you're not gonna do nothing with Homegirl, she's just gonna be there. Like, forget this whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then the Demon King who's trying to become something. What is his purpose? Does he transform? Does he even get into the fight? How many episodes in we are now? Those henchmen were fodder. And then they're trying to be like, yo, these guys are gonna be the next.
My goodness, bro! Yes,
these guys use guns.
Yeah, because I was like, especially the ones that they fought. I was like, I thought of like General Rioldo. I was like, he looking at these mechanized guys, like y'all are just.
I'm like, are we doing this again? We're doing this again. Like, the Pride Troopers were good enough. They were great, actually. A natural evolution of the Ginyu Force. They could get serious when it mattered. They showed really good teamwork. We were doing the Ginyu Force. They weren't bad.
They weren't bad. I like that.
Yeah, like Topa and Dispo.
Dispo. Even the what's it called? The general that kind of organized them to try to like again use teamwork to take down people. I'm with it.
Because boy, when Dispo grabbed Frieza by the tail and was just dragging him like a ball. I was like, yeah.
Topo hitting Frieza in the gut, trash deserves to be tossed out, right? I'm like, this is good. I like this a lot.
They had so many interesting characters in that arc, man.
His death ball, I was like,
yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you did this in Super. Granted, I know Super comes after this, but like you did this recently and you did it well. You pulled it off. Why are we doing the Ginyu Force again, but with guns? Like, I don't why
even the Wolf brothers, like you did them very well.
Mm-hmm.
Even the dogs, and I hated the dogs. I was like, yo, why am I fighting animals? Why is Goku fighting? These designs aren't great. And my thing, I have questions, man. Out of all the talent, that's a strange successor, man, in my opinion.
What's a strange successor?
So, who's it? Huh?
What's the strange successor?
No. Successor as in Toriyama's successor.
Oh, Toritaro? I feel like Toritaro doesn't get enough credit for breathing new life into some of these characters. I honestly will never know for sure, to be honest. But I don't think that we would have even gotten a reapproach to the Red Ribbon arc if it wasn't for Toritaro. Because Toritaro, one thing he does well is you can tell he's a fan and he remembers things that Toriyama didn't. So like he would throw in references to characters that's like, this person is still around, right? Like, I'm gonna have one of Moro's clans be an alien cousin of like Zarbon, because why would Zarbon be the only one in his race? Like just certain things like that. I'm like, I think Toritaro doesn't get enough credit for stuff like that.
Okay.
Drawing plot, but I think in terms of like referencing the things that have already been established, I think he does a pretty good job. I feel like it's gonna be tough with Dragon Ball and with Daima because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's still making money, right? That's the bottom line. Like, I'm sure the toys are gonna sell, right? Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta toy is gonna sell. Like y'all said before, the DLCs for it's gonna sell. And that's all that really matters. But I think in terms of what you were saying, Tim, earlier about like the longevity of this, of like, you clearly are stumbling your way into this finish line of like, you have nothing else to give. You're creatively bankrupt at this point. I don't know why. Like a series of arcs where you make all the movie characters canon would be fire to me, right? A Tree of Might storyline would be fire to all of us, but they're just not going to do it. It is not going to do it.
And then they're gonna wait till some anime takes their ideas and does it better.
Yep.
And then you're like, Dragon Ball who?
Right.
Hey guys, we're doing a Tree of Might arc. You guys could have did that in 2025.
5 years ago.
We don't want it.
Nope.
Especially if it's just going to be the Goku and Vegeta show.
Right.
Again. We don't want it. We don't want
not
it.
even a Vegeta show.
Yeah, not, he's got a little bit more equal screen time these days, but you're right. It's going to default to...
After Toriyama's death.
Toriyama threw him a couple bones here and there. But
no, bro, when they robbed him of that Frieza fight, bro.
Like I said, we could tell Toriyama wrote it. Oh, Vegeta got punked again? Oh, yeah, surprise. What a shocker.
Oh, Moro? Oh, Susanoo Goku?
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
my God.
That was it for me, bro. That was it for me.
My God.
Like, you finally gave Vegeta some very diverse moves to utilize, and you just threw that away, bro.
Something that'll make him and then you bring him back that he learns from Beerus.
Why. Like, and then the thing about it is like this was his redemption arc for the Namekians, and that's where I kind of felt that was very disrespectful. Like, this should have been Vegeta's win, because you could tell he wanted to like atone for that. And it's like,
they're not thinking that deep, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, again, the groundwork is already there. You lay all the I guess establishing, foundation, and then you just, I'm gonna build a house out of straw. It's like, okay, well, I guess we'll be back here again.
Same time tomorrow.
Yeah. Same rehashed character plots. We did have a comment corner that I wanted to bring up. We had two questions that I wanted, it was a series of questions, but I think two kind of ties into what we were talking about. And it's from one of our, top tier podcast supporters. Shout out, you know who, you know what I'm saying? That always has held us down. And the question that he asked essentially was, given the success of fan animation projects like Legend of a Dragon Ball Tale, where it kind of reimagined the world of Dragon Ball, do we feel that these fan projects are, well, one, how do we feel about that project as a whole? And then do we feel like, are they creating something new with some of these fan projects, or are they creating something derivative, like repetitive and, a different version of the same thing? With a lot of these fan projects coming out.
I don't like Super Saiyan 9 Goku. I'll tell you that.
No. Or the what if Goku was betrayed by his cousin and trapped in the hyperbolic time chamber for 45,000 years? Like, I'm like,
and then
why?
He comes out as a Megalodon Goku where he can use telepathy. Like Susanoo Goku, just recreating different forms. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I will say that there is interesting concepts, but they're never like quite done with the taste that suits Dragon Ball Z. They kind of feel like it's written by a DC Marvel comic book writer. Wouldn't this be interesting? Goku finally throws in the towel. I'm like, no. We don't want that type of story. You keep that for Fantastic Four or whatever. Like, they just don't fit Dragon Ball Z. And that new direction doesn't make it Dragon Ball Z anymore. Like, it loses its charm immediately. I don't want to see Dragon Ball Z in through the eyes of a berserker, a tent. Like, let Dragon Ball Z be as colorful as it is. Like, that's what makes Dragon Ball Z the perfect formula.
It's become the battle of the color palettes.
Yeah, like, make like certain things that could make sense. Like, I did value certain storylines, that kind of like, why didn't Boo absorb Bulma? You know what I'm saying? Certain things are very interesting concepts, kind of like what we discussed. The multiverse concept, like multiverses or whatever fan made, like Dragon Ball Z AF, Goku's dragon son lineage. I'm sorry, that's not working for me, man.
Yeah,
yeah, that's not working for me.
I
He's
feel
got
like
two horns and he's half Omega Shenron. No, that's not working for me.
I feel like we keep
So
running into like a clash of like two different fan bases, right? So you have fan bases that are kind of like us, where we're like, a transformation is cool, right? Like we're not like against it necessarily, but we enjoy the story, we enjoy the martial art aspects, like you said, Jory, the brightness and the colors. Whereas you have the other fan base that's like, we're like backflipping when they saw Gohan having the hair color scheme that they've always wanted for him, Gohan Blanco. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that fan base also of like, we just want more forms. And it's like it's hard to get like a story that does like a good balance of both, especially with fan projects.
if it like these things aren't bad, like, but there was no foreshadowing of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you had foreshadowing of it, people would have easily accepted it.
Yeah.
Like in my mind knew there were different color rings for the Green Lantern Corps. Right? Everybody, I said, man, what if there was a Red Lanterns? Boom, there's Red Lanterns, and you see what they're based off of, and what the concepts are interesting concepts. Yeah, like basically like these concepts, they got to do foreshortening.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing. They got to do foreshortening. I'm thinking about art. They got to do foreshadow. If they did the foreshadowing, that'd be good. But Dragon Ball Z's foreshadowing is not there. It's never been there. Only sometimes. But that's Dragon Ball.
Which is why, like, I think that's why it's like sometimes it's hard to critique some of this fan stuff. Of like they're just doing what we're getting from the official art and like official company anyway, right? So even Legend of a Dragon Ball tale, where Goku ends up breathing fire and gets this weird like hybrid form to team up with Vegeta, I'm like, this is completely random out of nowhere, but not off brand. You know what I'm saying? Like Goten and Trunks, being able to do a kamikaze ghost substitution in Dragon Ball Deliverance, completely out of nowhere, but not off brand.
It's not. Like, it's not. It's great concepts, right? Like okay, Oob having a symbiotic relationship with that. That was a cool concept. But do I want that? I've seen that already with Venom. I don't want Venom Oob. I don't. Like it just.
But that's the other part though. Like we want anything with Oob. Oob has been 4 years old for the past 10 years in Dragon Ball Super.
I personally don't understand the hype of Oob, but
I think it's the potential. Hey. It's like here's a chance to do Gohan right, almost. Like here's this potential who actually wants to train and like stay focused on being an Earth protector, and they're just like, nope, he'll never grow up. He's Peter Pan of the Dragon Ball land.
Yeah, like Clark Kent Gohan is just
cool.
Not. It is cool, right?
Cool. But
it's not.
Yeah, but
it's not. And my thing is, I don't like what Toyo Toro did with Trunks and Goten. Like he took all the sauce that they had. They're like not cool. Gosh, they're like he made them so not cool.
Like you mean to tell me 2 kids Super Saiyans are not equipped to fight Frieza?
And I'm like, man,
the ones who y'all made the saviors to fight Majin Buu.
Okay. And almost did it. Almost did it.
Yeah, it almost did it. You just
and I'm like, yo, y'all destroyed my favorite sub characters ever. Like Kid Trunks is like your perfect Dennis the Menace, and then he perfect Dennis the Menace, and he gets his innocent friend, who's also gets his friend who's more like Lever the Beaver, right, and also gets him in trouble, and it's like they're the perfect duo that you didn't need, that you didn't know you needed or you wanted. And they bring great joy to the Dragon Ball Z universe. Those kids were my favorite part of Dragon. They saved Dragon Ball Z Season 3 with that Buu Saga. They saved the Buu Saga, right? I didn't know I needed these kids. And then there's so many, and then like the way Dragon Ball Z's ending was to see how close of a brotherhood that Trunks and Goten had was like, man, I want to see these dudes, man. They're gonna be like Jonathan and well, not quite like Jonathan, but and gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name, man.
Damien?
No, Jonathan. When I say Jonathan from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Oh,
you feel me? Yeah, Jonathan Joestar.
Oh, Jonathan
Joseph
and
Joestar. Joseph Joestar
and Caesar.
Caesar, yeah, it's Caesar.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like duos, man. Like that's how you do it. And it's like there's no for.
They don't do
I'm just like,
anything. They're just
only thing I give him credit to is he's finally drawn people like people of color, like
they should have been
good.
Yeah,
like not no Smantan.
Yeah, which is one thing
me?
that's like again with some of the fan art projects, right? Like again, going back to Dragon Ball Deliverance, like I like the fact that they gave Trunks and Goten a dedicated fight scene, right? That had stakes, that had techniques, that had these things of like we're gonna make these characters important and things like that. It's just like it's just not done enough, right? Of like it's not done in a way of like why do all things circle back to these same plot points over and over and over and over again? Why does Cell have to come back and kill Pan in front of Gohan in this fan art story? What if Raditz turned good and trained?
Gohan needs to feel pain like Superman.
Yeah,
did.
It's like so I guess the answer, our summation of all of our thoughts is like I think it's one of those things where like I think fan projects have it's like it's brand material. The potential is there. Sometimes the groundwork is there, and the execution is.
What if Clawdor comes back and slices off Nami's head in front of Luffy, and then Luffy turns to Dark Luffy?
Plot lines you get with these fan projects of like,
what if somebody gets grape juiced? In Dragon Ball Z, that's what I'm like. Yo, listen, we not Watchmen, dog. Hell,
right?
You feel me?
What if somebody gets grape against Kid Boo? What difference would it have made?
Like who cares? He would have been confetti.
To me, I'm all right. When it comes to transformations, I'm a one and done type of person, or I like to see a gradual progression. Like Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and then of course 4 was like the ending. Okay, cool. But then, but I also feel like when it comes to long-term shows like this, you need to focus more about techniques that you can utilize. And one, I know Joey's going to be very proud of this. A very prime example of that was when Luffy fought Katakuri. Like how he had to intertwine between Bound Man and Snake Man. Like you had these two forms, but you had to maximize your techniques with both of them to defeat this guy.
Yeah,
Katakuri still to me is and
then even the Tournament of Power. I like the Universe 6 Saiyans because they brought a revival back to Super Saiyan 1 and 2. Like they revived those forms for me because now I kind of feel like if you're not going blue or God form, you're just nothing. Like nope. Kefla was like, come get these hands.
Yeah,
I think what Dragon Ball Z needs to treat their their transformations like power branches. Like if you decide to go blue, you won't be able to do these things anymore. Yeah. Like they need to there is a technique that you can do, but you're gonna have to start from ground one to turn Super Saiyan again. Like there needs to be ancient themes on being Super Saiyan. Like you can't just become both. You know what I'm saying? Like I like what the Avatar, what they did when lava bending's a part of earth bending. I'm like, but that makes sense.
It's a branch.
That makes sense. It's a branch.
Just like metal bending, but then only
metal bending. Yeah, you feel me?
There's a small percentage of lava benders.
It's a small percentage of lava benders. Not everybody can do it. It's a small percentage of metal benders, or and then like, oh yeah, you're never gonna be able to fly if you're an earthbender, but an airbender can. You feel me? And so like these things.
But the only way to fly, you got to give up all your earthly attachments,
which is fine. Like
But
Jordan's
that's
saying, there's a trade-off.
crazy concept though, right? I mean, but to me, that's one of the greatest foreshortenings in an anime too.
Yeah.
I mean, in a cartoon, like his favorite person, who he was not an earthbender. I mean, an airbender. His favorite person was an airbender, and he envied the ability. And then finally, through chance, he becomes one. And what does he do with it? Anarchy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like like Dragon Ball Z power scaling needs to be treated like Nin on certain, for me and my thing. And when I say that, because like, okay, if you're gonna do blue, you can't go red. You can't do certain things anymore. If you decide to become this type of Super Saiyan, you lose the ability to shoot Ki Blast. Give me something. They ain't gonna do that. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. Taijutsu Dragon Ball Z user.
Paris thought, right, of martial artists using martial arts, right, in the martial arts series.
But to be honest, I felt like the god transformations were pointless because like when you introduce Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, it's like, all right, that actually makes more sense because it's more of a divine connection towards the gods and the angels. So like these two forms you kind of just introduced kind of felt pointless to me.
But I feel like that's the thing that he come back to with Dragon Ball is like it's pointless because they made it pointless. Like that's what these forms are gonna lose their luster when you like. There's something to be said about the Tournament of Power where every single other opponent Goku and Vegeta are going blue. It's like it throws the entire scaling of like, okay, so you're telling me that this dog man required you to go into a god form to fight him. But yet you're fighting Jiren and Super Saiyan. Why? You know, like it just, you know, like, which is one thing I did like about Daima so far. Daima has done a good job of making Super Saiyan kind of matter, right? Like when Goku goes Super Saiyan against Tamagami, it's like a big thing. Against Glorio, it's a big thing. Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3 is a big thing. But we know that like these are things until they're not, because that's just Dragon Ball.
And Vegeta doing a display of mastery of 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was, oh man, that's great. But guess what?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, and he doesn't do it in Super.
In the words of Owlman, before that planet blows up, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So I guess, yeah, in summation of the question, I think it's something where it's like they're appreciated. I think the animation quality that we're starting to see from fans now these days are on another level, right? Like I think that's why we're starting to see more of these viral artists, viral animators get hired by these studios to do certain cuts for certain things because they do have a level of talent that is refreshing from a visual perspective.
Yeah. Like I don't know if y'all seen that One Punch Man blast observing the fight between Garo and Saitama.
Yes.
And there was no movement involved. It was just still shots. My goodness, that was crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that
he's not doing season 2, 3. Okay.
I think that's something that, like, I think that we all appreciate as long-time fans. Like, it's nice to see the fans like grabbing the Thanos glove and saying, "I'll do it myself." But I think the writing is just not usually there. There's always something that you're kind of like, okay. Right, even Dragon Ball Deliverance, I'm like, yes, seeing Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta drop Broly off the top rope into the planet, it was beautiful. Would go on and really have lost like the way he does in episode 2? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there certain things where I'm like, I guess. You know, so I think it's one of those things where like I hope to one day we'll see like the Avengers of fan animation into getting something that we all are truly tied into. But I don't know. I don't know when that day will come.
Writers.
Yeah, I don't know when that day will come.
No. Nobody has the patience to become a good writer.
Yeah.
It's too much layering. It's too. You have to create another human being. Nobody wants to do that anymore.
Yeah, you have to create a character that can feel believable in this fictional setting, and it's like
only Oda, because he was working on these characters when he was 17.
For real.
So
for real, bro.
Only Oda.
But that, ladies and gentlemen, brings an end to episode 50 of the Press Start Select podcast. Again, it was episode 50. we had to make it extra, lengthy with segments and parts and discussions and really just, highlight and celebrate this episode. Like it's something where truly we value every single subscriber we've gotten, every view that we've gotten.
We do.
We've been pleasantly surprised more than a few times since we started this podcast, especially for guys who have no industry ties whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Like just try to figure it out while balancing our day-to-day lives. So it's for the people who have been, on this journey with us as we continue to grow and figure it out and look for ways to improve. We appreciate y'all. We're still on the road to. Go ahead. That's right.
No, we made it to 250, man. Like
yeah. No steep drop-offs. Yeah, and we figured out new things to do. We're able to stream now, which is coming soon.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm glad that we made it this far. Any closing thoughts on you guys in for wrap this episode up?
Well, man, I'm just looking forward to this. I'm looking for the state of play. Honestly, but I mean, to go back to that topic, man, we really got to see what's going on, man. Because as I said, man, this is my last console cycle, so I'm still in backlog season. So I'm just wondering, like, will I be making any new purchases this year?
Right. Do I actually have to play through my backlog? Like, is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing? I'm gonna have to hit resume on this game I haven't picked up in months because y'all are playing this year. Okay.
My goodness.
Yeah, because it's really come to the case, like, what is worth your wallet?
Yeah.
And you want to support them, man, because this whole make a game, fire people, it's hurting the industry, man. It really is. And these are people who are pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into these products, man. So
years of their lives.
Yeah,
years of their lives, all for nothing.
I'm with you, Tim. I'm with you. I hope we're all pleasantly surprised by what this year brings gaming wise. But we will be here to talk about it on the Press Start Select podcast. Tune in next time for episode 51. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Till next time, I am Antonius the Gamer, Super SSS rank, Mikhail Smith. You all have a wonderful day. Peace.
All right.
All right.